Fast forward to after the show, at the meet and greet, he was like, bro, the music, like the rapping, like keep doing it. Don't stop doing that stuff. You're really smooth with it. And I don't just say that about anybody. And I was just like, thank you, Token. And it was like, I can't just stop. One of my favorite rappers, Token, just gave me this great compliment. I'm going to take what he said, I build on it, I make something to myself like he had to. We're going to have another conversation one day where I remind him what he told me.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 56 of Ruse Radio. We are back at it again with a very special guest, another returning guest. Special guest, could you please introduce yourself?
MysterWre, King Reed, guys are greatest. I came to the podcast to see Ruse. This is our second.
Yes.
And man, just seeing how the room updated more, and I've just been seeing your growth, your consistency, man.
I appreciate
I just
that.
want to say I'm proud of you, bro. I've been seeing them TikToks and all them verses stuff, man. I'm like, I got to get on my back.
Now, dude, when I do those videos, I'm hoping that other rappers pick up on it. Because, like, there's a couple people on TikTok that are kind of doing that kind of thing. But, like, even them, a lot of what is happening on TikTok is, like, they're doing open verse challenges. Usually that's what I'm doing when you see those videos.
Yeah.
So I'll take, for those that don't know what we're talking about, there'll be a beat that's put up, and then they're basically letting you use the beat. They want you to. They're saying, usually it's an artist promoting their song, maybe it's a producer, and they'll put the beat up, they'll say open verse challenge, and so then what most people do, what most rappers do, is they'll just fucking duet it like any other TikTok. They'll just grab their headphones and they'll rap into their headphones, and that'll be the video, which is cool and that can work, but like, no,
you go
man.
crazier though.
No, we going crazy. And what do I have a fucking camera for if I'm not gonna use it? What do I have a microphone for? What do I have mixing skills for if I'm not gonna use them? So I feel like it's just the best way to demonstrate your talent. And I feel like if you're an artist that does shit yourself, that is like a no-brainer.
Show that,
but you know, like I said, a lot of what you see is just people doing the basic thing. It's them just rapping into their headphones. And even a lot of the people that are doing the rapping thing, they are not going all out. Like, you gotta treat that thing like a song. You gotta mix it, you gotta master it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why it sticks out to you.
Yeah.
Because I put in the work, you know?
Yeah.
But dude, go for it.
You gotta get out your comfort zone, man.
Yeah.
I gotta get out mine. You know, I be watching you. Yeah, that really be inspiring me. I be talking to my fiance Case, and I just be like, man, you see he downtown, you see over here, he over there. And I'm like, Case is just like, how is he? Is he rapping loud? Like, no, like he recorded that. Like, he mixed that. He got that together. I'm like, and I got all that at home, but I just be caught up in my schedule and stuff. And if you, they say if you love something enough, you'll make a way. And I definitely have been growing my passion back. That's a whole conversation, bro.
Yeah.
About how I was discouraged with music for a while. But I've been falling back in love with music again, and I've just been making so much time for it again, you know?
Yeah, man. Usually I'll fall away from music in some way, shape, or form. And then I don't know. I fall away in a weird way where it's like I fall away mentally, and like usually I'm still doing shit, but like, you know, with the TikToks it helps because it gives me a simple goal and I can do it. But there's been periods where I haven't made music for a little while, and the thing that always brings me back is I'll post something old that I made, or I'll post even just something new that I just made. And then people comment and people respond, and you get that genuine feedback, and it reminds you just what you started making music for in the first place.
Yeah.
That's usually what brings me back, is just some humbling reminder. And it could be anything. I think what's beautiful about art in general is that butterfly effect of it. Like, what is it that brought you back to music? What is it? Let's start from the beginning. What took you away from music? What do you think caused that? Okay,
so I was falling. I was in the fallen state. Is what I think of it as. I was stressed out. You know, I was stressed out with my job and going back to school, because I always wanted to go and get a degree in school, which is what I was doing like a couple years back. but I had stopped going to school, and I wanted to go back to school because I had a dying passion to get a degree. And now, when I first went to college, I was going to college as a music major. But when the COVID happened, I kind of dropped out, and I never went back to be a music major. I ended up going back to college this past winter semester, January, but I started in December. And I went back for computer science and engineering.
Interesting.
And I didn't like that at all.
Well,
I didn't like that.
I'm sure you've
one
heard
bit.
what's the statistic? Like, I can't even remember what it is, but everybody changes their major. I mean, that's what I was.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, it's the majority. I think it's like 80% of people change their major quite a few times. It's crazy.
Yeah, so when I had scheduled my classes, to be full time because I had planned to take less hours from work. So I can do more school, do more music and all that, and kind of like live my life, you know. And also church takes every weekend I have, you know. So it was just a lot going on. I ended up getting a promotion at work that required me to push more than 40 hours after I had already got my classes together and everything. So now I'm a full-time student. I'm a full-time employee. Church takes up every weekend. I'm trying to spend time with my fiance and keep her happy.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have no time for music for real. You know, I just didn't have much time to write. I didn't want to write no more. I never had time to record. And the money was getting to my head. It was just like, I'm going to just hang it up, you know. And I didn't necessarily want to quit. But I knew I would come back, but I didn't think it would be for a while. And that explains why I haven't dropped music for real lately. You haven't seen much of MysterWre in a while. Because, but how I came back is because I was having just talks with people that are close to me, like my friend Mario and Jay, and I would talk to Case, my fiance, and they were all pretty much just telling me the same thing, like, you need to just do what you love. And Case said something very powerful, like just the other day. She was just like, she said, you won't find peace in where you don't belong. So like, man, lately I just been having this passion for music back because I just been thinking like, this is where God wants me to be.
Wow.
You know, I went back to school, but I didn't go back to school for the right reason. So I ended up dropping a couple of my classes that I didn't care for, like Microsoft Excel and stuff like that.
Oh no.
I dropped that stuff.
Now you'll never be able to use Excel.
Right. It's just a YouTube video. You know what I mean?
A YouTube video for 10 classes over 10 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's just one video. But, goodness. It's crazy how the school system works. But
what other classes did you drop?
I also dropped ASL.
Okay.
I was taking ASL as an elective. Mind you, I was taking 18 credits.
Okay.
You know, I took a mini-mester, which is like a 10-week class, you know, or 14 or whatever, summed down to 3 weeks.
Oh, damn.
So it was very accelerated. I passed it though, but it was just stressful. You know, I was just doing a lot. I wasn't seeing my family anymore. I got my brother talking to me saying like, I feel like you don't want to be around us. Like, what's going on? My mom said, you always leaving when you here. Like, I was just never home, you know, because the time I did have to myself, I was trying to give that to Case. So, all that to say, I was just very, very busy, and it was hard to even make time for music. It pushed the desire to want to make music out of me, and after a while, it just kicked that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. That's why I'm not having any peace. So I dropped a couple of my classes, and I started having more time, and I just gave more time. I'm going back to school. I'm switching my major back to being the music major.
Oh, snap.
So like, I'm just really going to risk it all. Because when you have degrees, when you're going for degrees that aren't guaranteed financial stability, families don't really support you.
No.
You know? Like, my family really, really didn't support me to be a music major.
I don't think families generally support music in general.
Yeah, like
the whole thing is just...
Yeah, like they really don't. Like, you got, when it comes to music, man, to make money off of music, you just really got to stick to the process.
Yeah.
Just stick to the process. After a while, you're gonna get seen, you're gonna be heard, you're gonna be booked. You know, you're going to be tipped. Like,
I like to think of it, it's got to be very similar to getting an acting gig. You know, like, can you imagine being in LA and your competition is everybody?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same type of market where it's like only 1% of people get anywhere with it. But those are the people who are trying that hard.
Yeah.
So it's, unless you get super duper 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 lucky. And that's why you can't even blame the family members for not being fully supportive, because they're kind of being realistic.
Mm-hmm. But even if, you know, I know you're talking about, like, you know, acting as a part of getting booked for, like, films and things like that. If you love to do it, you can make your own skits and, you know, like...
That's a great point. Like, the day and age we're in now is a lot different than it used to be.
When you really think about it, it's not that hard to... It might be that hard to get rich, but it's not that hard to get publicized.
No.
It's not that hard to make a viral video anymore. It's not that hard to, you know, be in the face of everybody when the world is on social media 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look at it, the same with music, you know? If you making music that sounds like... I don't know, mumble rap, for an example. If you're making mumble rap music, then that's going to be hard to stand out in that. But if you do something that you know is original, start doing something you feel is unique, try to have your own sound or take different styles and make your own, experiment, you know, you're raising your chances of being heard and being successful off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we kind of came to the point in the conversation where it was like, the best artists seem to be the ones that find themselves first and then integrate other stuff afterwards. Like, if you're just automatically starting out trying to sound like these other things, you're going to just sound like you're trying to sound like other things.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're the person that found your own voice and then you start to pull in from those other things, you become so much more creative. You just have so much more flexibility even. But you have to, it's like anything, you got to find yourself first.
Yeah, which is not easy.
No, not at all.
Not easy. I watch a lot of interviews of rappers. I watch a lot of interviews of them just saying, oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I know. I completely forgot to turn that light on. It
It's
makes
bright
it
in
feel
here
more
now.
like a studio in this bitch,
it
you know?
looks good. Wow. That made me lose my train of thought.
For the
can
audio
see.
listeners, we just turned a bright ass light on in this room. That's what just happened.
Okay, yes, I watch a lot of interviews, and I honestly like you know who Hobson is?
Oh yeah.
So I watched a Hobson interview, and he was just talking about how. Well, it wasn't an interview. He was just on Instagram Live, actually.
His
But-
Instagram lives are
see
great. Yeah, the ones he does with Token are unmatched.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you see I met Token?
No.
Yeah, I met Token.
Wow.
Well, I'll get to that in just
All
one
right,
second.
so you're talking about Hobson. We're talking about creativity.
Hobson was like he sounded like other people, bad. Like he said, he sounded like Andre 3000, like bad. Snoop Dogg, bad. I remember Kendrick Lamar sounded like, I think he said he sounded like Lil Wayne.
And it's true.
Bad.
If you listen to early Kendrick, it's like you can tell that he wasn't. It was almost like he was trying to be Lil Wayne.
Yeah. So you study, you know your stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, so it just it's inevitable, man. You're gonna like attract to what you listen to, and when you make music, inevitably you're gonna make music that sound like what you like. But just through doing it, you're going to get better at the craft, and eventually you're going to start implementing what you can inside, into the music. You can't do it yet because you're still getting better, but once you get better, once you get to a certain level of just proficiency when you're writing, like it's going to, or not writing, or just acting, or, playing the instrument, or just anything, a comedian, like once you just get better in your craft, you're going to start to be more of yourself because now you can do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It becomes intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's really, it's almost like you enter a flow state because like once you're in that flow state, there's just so much more room, just leg room, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm lucky in the sense that I don't think I've ever really struggled too much with that. But I see a lot of people where it's like, you can tell they just haven't found their thing yet. And that's fine. I mean, it's almost necessary for a lot of people to go through that process of like I mean, and even like we said, like with Kendrick and Hopsin, like those guys went through that. Yeah. And they were dropping shit publicly while they were going through that phase. You can still find those songs.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in it. It's just like, and also I think it's a process too that never ends. Like you're still always finding your own voice. Because your voice changes and art changes and it grows.
It
and
develops, evolves.
Yeah, like I'm sure the mystery music that you're going to make now is going to be way different than what you had made before because you're not the same person you were before.
Yeah, it sounds different.
Yeah.
I'm 2 years older. When was our last?
Oh, I was looking actually. It was about 2 years ago. Yeah, it was late 2020 is when we did that episode. So
late 2020. Yeah, I'm 2 years older, man, So the more you grow, so does what grows out of you.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I think that art is this beautiful thing in that way that it builds upon itself. I like to think of it as like a mountain of art that's always growing and it's always becoming something bigger. And it's always bigger than itself too. Like each little song is just like a peg on the mountain. It's just one little thing. So it never really represents the whole. And And that's what's fun about it. I mean, like, there's, and it goes for every artist. Like there's somebody might like your song you made 3 years ago and not like your music now. And they're not wrong, but like you might like a band, how they sounded 10 years ago. That's the cat. Stop, Margot, stop! Jesus Christ. She thinks she can just destroy my house. That's what she thinks. So, and she doesn't want anything. She just wants to enter this room and then exit this room. That's what she wants. So, dude,
stop treating your cat like that, man.
No, dude, you don't understand. She likes it. She likes that I yell at her so that she can do it again. It's a terrible cycle. I wish there was something I could do. Like I could get scratching
it's a terrible cycle.
I don't know how to fix it. I really don't. Like I go, Margot, please stop, and then she just looks at me, and then meows again. She wants me to yell at her. That's what she wants.
Oh man!
And don't get me wrong. It's like I'll be nice to her. It's not like I'm always mean. Like I'll come up to her, I'll cuddle her, I'll pet her, I'll treat her nice. Doesn't matter. It's never enough. It's never enough.
Is it a female?
Yeah.
So you can't ever satisfy them.
No.
Now if they're a human, a cat, a dog, they never satisfied.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's an ant.
That's a great point. Maybe if she was a boy cat, we wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, you gotta get the boy cat. That's what it is.
At this point, I'm stuck with her. She ain't going anywhere. Man, I didn't look up the lifespan of cats before I bought that cat. So I mean, I'm only halfway. It's dude. Don't even get me started on my cat. Oh my God. I think her calling in life, why she was sent to this earth, is purely to make things harder for me. And I love her. I love her so much. But like, oh man, I'll be having a nice calm morning because she hasn't gotten up yet, a good 2 hours, and then all of a sudden, she likes to use that couch as a scratching post, so she's not allowed in here. Oh my God, dude, I'm a dog person all the way. All the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you that. I'm like, do you ever get a bad rap because you're a man with a cat?
Oh, dude, I mean.
I love cats. I'm going to say it right now. I hate dogs.
You hate dogs?
Yeah. I don't hate them anymore. Okay. When I was younger, I hated them.
Why?
I didn't understand the relationship that people have with pets, how much they love them and cherish them like they're their own children when I was younger. So I didn't know that yet. So I don't hate them anymore because I respect pet owners on a different level now that I'm older. But when I was younger, bro, dogs just did not like me. Dogs just chased me. I got scars on my legs and stuff. Like, I can't. I owned the dog. I think this was the dagger in my relationship with pets. Is I owned the dog, and the dog was just so mean to me.
Oh, damn.
I couldn't even feed the dog without him like just barking heavily, like, give me my food. Like, what are you doing? So I don't know. It just ruined it. I never liked dogs. But now that I'm older, I don't hate dogs anymore. I want to make that very clear. I've definitely been around some dogs by now and had, and petted them and stuff like that. And they weren't so aggressive with me.
But you're still a cat guy.
Oh, all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just okay, so I can feel that. I can understand that. But how did you never had a cat that was aggressive? You never saw a cat because I feel like aggressive cats are almost worse than aggressive dogs. Aggressive cats will fuck you up. Like my aunt has a cat where you go to her house and that cat's she'll fucking my aunt has scratch marks on her arms from trying to hold it, and it just claws her. It just destroys her.
Really?
Yeah, but that's the cat's personality. It just likes to hurt people.
Isn't that it's more unlikely to have a cat like that?
Maybe you're right. I just think that you got a bad impression on dogs, but someone could just as easily have a bad impression with cats too, right? Because couldn't evil cats ruin your? For me, it wasn't that. To me, it's just the general behavior of dogs and cats. I used to say that I prefer a dog or a cat to a dog, and then the more I live my life, and maybe having Margot has not helped, right? But I just feel like cats, they're so dogs don't do the things that cats do. Cats are diabolical. They're too smart for their own good. Dogs have blind love. They're stupid love. That's what they've got. Whereas cats, if you're not nice to a cat, they will not like you, and they will make it clear they don't like you. And also, if a cat wants something, they will manipulate you into giving it to them. Like how Margot will walk around and meow and do all this. She just wants attention, but she's doing all of the things she doesn't have to do to get it. She could just walk up to me and rub on me. I'd like that.
Yeah.
But no, she's got to make a scene. It's stop, please. It's if she's trying to get out of the, she's trying to go downstairs and the door's closed at night. Because I pay bills, Margot. So she wants to open the door and let all the cold air in. So I tell her no. A cat will be smart. A cat will just start gagging until you open the door. Cats come up with shit. They'll be like, and then I'll be like, oh my God, now I have to let her out. And she's playing mind games with me.
Yeah.
Now, not all cats are like this, but I will say that cats are dogs don't do those things. That's not a dog activity.
Yeah.
The dog goes, whatever. Human says I have to, so I have to.
See, I didn't know that side about cats.
Oh, dude.
Cats always, in my mind, they're just they're just so chill,
You've gotten lucky. That's what I think. I think you've gotten lucky. You just wait till you get the right cat. I think you'll be on my side. I think so. We'll have you back on in 2 years, and you can tell me. Oh, wait.
Man.
But dude, I don't know. I can't even remember what I was saying before the cat thing. We were talking about art. And then Margot came in and scratched the door. That's what happened. But I mean, back to the art thing. I think that it's important to keep your work alive. I think that's a really important thing. I think it can be difficult because life will get in the way, but it's just like working out, if you don't work out for a while, your body starts to get less fit. Just like if you're a songwriter or an artist and you don't create for a while, it's you're a little bit shabby when you get back into the movement of things. And
you're not in rhythm.
Yeah, and I just think it's so important to not lose that. And also it's a muscle that you have to work out in the sense that it'll only get stronger if you work it out.
Yeah.
And you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as they say. So if you just spend 3 months not writing music because X, Y, and Z. Those you could have written maybe one of your best songs in your fucking
Yeah,
life, but you
yeah.
just didn't capture it because your mind was
Yeah.
on other things. So I think it's
Exactly.
just super important to stay somewhere in that flow.
Especially as a writer, because when you're like in rhythm, you analyze things as bars and as messages and lyrics. So when you're definitely out of that flow state, as you mentioned, like you're not looking at life situations like that anymore. You're looking at
No.
life situations like, I'm tired of this. How am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna get over this? I'm exhausted. I don't like going through what I'm going through. You're not looking at the art in it anymore. You're not making art out of it anymore. You're just going through life and not using your creativity to really, make it a branch.
Yeah.
You're just in this tree, but you're not making any branches out of it.
Yeah, and I think that that another thing is that only you will have those ideas, and like that's another just important thing to keep in mind. Is I think another beautiful thing about art is it allows all of us to speak in our own way, and I just think that it's like what you said before about like you're not. It's like God sent you here to do something, and when you're away from the music for so long, it's almost like you're wasting that light that God gave you, and I feel that way in a sense. I mean, I feel like everybody has a superpower, and for me, that superpower is music, and I'm able to do that in a way that no one else can do it. I can capture that in a way that nobody else can, and it's like what I was saying at the beginning of the conversation, where if I stray from that for too long, I need some type of event to occur to remind me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is my superpower.
Exactly.
Like if someone says to me, hey, that rap you wrote made me feel like this, I'm like, oh yeah, because I can do that.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
And it's just so important. And I think creativity is one of the most important things we have as humans. Like it's so sad to me when I see people lose sight of that, and life does get in the way, but you just can't let go of it. And what happens when you're the guy where you let go 10 years ago and now you never want to jump back on that wagon?
Yeah.
And you show, you have kids now, and your kids hear the song you wrote when you used to make music, and they're like, oh my God, Dad, you're a good rapper. It's like, yep, that's what I used to love. It's a sad story.
Be known as that guy,
Yeah. I had a girlfriend whose dad, he used to be in a punk band, and it was like right around the time the 90s when grunge was big and Nirvana was getting big, and that was what he was kind of doing. And if I get this correct, I think their name was called the Wailers. I hope I'm getting this right. Shout out Tom Spademan if he's watching this one. But and having kids made him settle down, and that is like we're talking about my ex-girlfriend's dad. So he never explicitly said, oh man, I wish I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
I never would have been the guy to hear him say that. But there was this general sense of like, he really wanted to help me with my music because he could see in me what he had in himself. And he squandered it. He lost that opportunity because his life just started to happen and he moved forward. And so, it can happen to any of us. And to him, that was just a moment in time that, he can go back and listen to those songs and he can remember who he was, but he'll never have that back.
Yeah.
And you only have that once. The music you're going to make now, you would not make in 10 years. So it's so important, dog. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me sad to think about all the rappers who turned 40 and stopped rapping when they were 25. It just hurts because there's a million of them. They're all over the place.
Yeah. My thing is, bro, you have a talent. If you really feel like God, I'm pretty spiritual, and I feel like God giving me this talent. And I feel like for anybody else who feel like they were given this supernatural, intuitive, like ability to write music, you have music's powerful, and people fail to realize how powerful it truly is. Music is therapy. Music can change your day. I've written music and shown it to people and just watched tears roll up on their face. Like, that influence is powerful, and imagine doing
Magic.
that.
I think it's magic.
It's crazy. It's magical.
Yeah.
So
It's real life magic.
So like being able to do that, being able to be in a position to do that, and then give up. It's like you're wasting the talent that God gave you.
Yeah.
Why are you wasting that? Like, God didn't have to bless you with that talent. There's people in the world who's 50 still feel like they're not good at anything. And here I am, knowing what I want to do with my whole life since I was like 10 years old. So for me to invest so many years, and I'm just speaking for anybody else that's, feeling the same way, for me to invest so many years into this, so much time, so much of my money, so much of my energy, and then I was willing to hang it all up for $1, for a promotion, like Kay said, you won't have peace in where you don't belong. Eventually, you're going to end up doing something that you really don't like doing, and you really wish you were doing this other thing that you had the drive and passion for. But unfortunately, you let it die, and it's going to hurt. And you don't want to be that guy, like you mentioned. Like, I remember I was working at a truck company. It was a moving company, but I was working with a lot of truck drivers and stuff. And I was talking to one, and he found out I rap. He was like, "Yeah, you make music?" I'm like, "Yeah, I make music. I rap and all that stuff." "How long you been doing it?" "I've been doing it since I was in the 5th grade. I'm in college now, and yeah, I do that. I got my own studio." So we're just talking and all that. He was like, "Man, I used to rap too." And when you hear that at first, you're like, here's this guy, thinking it's just another one. I'm thinking he didn't take it as serious as I'm taking it right now. He was like, "I used to rap too." I'm like, "You want to hear something?" I'm like, "Yeah, let me hear something." And I'm thinking he finna play me some old music, when he was probably like 20, that. But no, he put on a beat and he rapped it live.
It's old school.
And it was some of the craziest stuff I've heard in a long time. It was very good.
Wow.
It was very, very good. I was impressed.
But like that story, I imagine there's a lot of mixed emotions in that moment, because it's like, damn, like this guy's talented, but he's telling me he used to rap.
He's seeing himself in me right now.
Yeah.
He's having a flashback. He's seeing himself in me. He's looking at me having this drive, trying to market myself, promote myself, stay with my craft, playing my own music in our truck. Like, just he's seeing that in me, and he's seeing like he's rethinking like, man, I wish I would have stayed with it.
Wow.
And I don't want to do that. I just want to. It's gonna be times, bro, where you duck your head a little bit, but pick it back up.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna last long. Everybody have their seasons. Every writer gets writer block. You know what I mean? Every actor doesn't feel like acting for a while. But we have a whole life. And if you drop your head for a minute, just remember to pick it back up. Because that's me. I was going one way, and I'm going the completely other way. I dropped my classes and stuff, and I'm going back to college for music, and I just had so much support that was always there, but I couldn't see it because I was blind in my own life issues. So when you go back to doing what you love, that's another thing. Like, you just open your eyes to all the support that was around you, all these, at least for me. But, I had a lot of people who were upset that I was slowing down and all that. I understand a lot of people don't always have a great support system around their dreams, and that's another reason why people don't follow through. Sorry.
I think it's really easy to get lost in that idea, even especially now. Even if you do have a support system, there's so much content, there's so much online that it almost feels like the support is never, ever going to be enough. Like, oh, well, yeah, sure, I have 5 or 10 people that like what I do, but I see this guy on social media who's nowhere near as talented as me, and he's got all these followers, and you could get all these ideas in your head where, but that's just, I think, your brain rationalizing giving up.
And social media is a killer.
I agree.
Social media is a killer. It's a blessing and a curse. You should use it as a lick. That's how I feel about social media. You should use it as a hustle.
As a tool.
As a tool.
Yeah.
Great. As a tool. But don't allow it to discourage you. You know, don't look at somebody that's 15 doing what you do and getting popular for it. You know, and you looking at, oh, look, he or she's 15 doing what I want to do, and they're getting so much love, but, you know, I'm better than them, or you know, or they're better than you. But it's just the fact that, like, how are they getting so much love, you know? Don't even look at that, man, because social media is just, sorry, I don't know what's all this going up.
You're good. Mystery's gonna die on my podcast. Cool. Good content, guys.
Oh my God. Don't clip that. But yeah, seeing everybody do what you do, don't let it discourage you, man, because nobody has arrived. Nobody has arrived. Do you know who HaHa Davis is? Mm-mm. So HaHa Davis is a comedian who got popular and all that. But just a long story short, he had millions of followers on Instagram. So he had the popularity. But his mom, he was in the house, and his mom was basically telling him, like, yeah, you funny and all that. You got these followers, but you're broke. You need to find a job, or like all this is coming down. You a grown man in my house and you're broke and you're just getting likes, but you're not getting any money. And this man had millions of followers on his Instagram and all that. So
that would hurt
us
to hear.
Looking at that, we're seeing, you know, he got millions of followers. We're thinking he arrived. But just because he has this mask on doesn't mean that he's really successful.
It's a great point. Yeah.
So I just feel like don't look at social media, because a lot of these artists, even the ones that are rich, like, what's the point of having all this money if you're not happy or in peace or have a sound mind, you know?
Yeah.
Or you're going to have another incident like, rest in peace, Robin Williams, you know? Like, it's sad.
It is sad. And I think that, you know, we have to find our own inner peace, whatever that might be, too. A comparison is the thief of joy. It's a great quote. I love to cite it. I love to use it as a guiding factor in my life. And it goes with the social media thing, you know. Those people, how I like to think of it is we're all just incredibly unique individuals, no matter who we are. Even if somebody doesn't seem unique, they are a product of everything that has led up to this moment. In every moment. I mean, no one is ever the same. We're always constantly changing. Yeah. Whether we can admit it or not, like we're dynamic beings naturally. Yeah. It's just the way it is. And so with all of that being said, it just becomes such an incredibly futile exercise to look at social media and look at all these people and go, oh, I'm not this guy, so I can't do this. Like, that guy's not you, and that guy would never be you. And there's things you can do that guy could never do. And that's each and every one of us all the time. I mean, that's the beauty of humans. That's what makes us so incredibly interesting, is that none of us are like one another.
Exactly.
So, you know, I think it's like we just can, and the only thing we can control is ourselves. So we have to take whatever lesson we want to take from that. I mean, those feelings you feel may be valid, but it's like, what do they mean? What does that represent? Like, if you're the guy that's got millions of followers and mom's telling you to move out, or mom's telling you got to figure something out, then that's just motivation for you to do something with that. Like, what do I do with these millions of followers? How do I get this to be a revenue stream? Like, and I really like the idea of never making it too, because I think a lot of people idealize a lot of these things. I think a lot of people think, when I hit 1 million followers, I've made it. That's my goal. That's my dream. When I get there, and it's like there's almost like there's no second thought. There's no like once I get there, like nothing comes after that.
Yeah.
So they
There's
just
a
get
lot of
there, and then they're gonna feel like there's this empty hole. Like what happens when you actually get there? And I when I was younger, I always bring this up. I can't remember who the dude was. I think it was Legacy Tattoo. I've said it before on podcast, but it was a guy who was just giving a speech to a bunch of us Teen Quest graduates, and he was telling us that the best way to live life is as if you've already accomplished your goals. So live like you've already played Madison Square Garden. Live like you played there yesterday. And I think that's genius in the sense that then you never have that million followers. That doesn't exist. Like you're never going to have this empty feeling because you know that you've never reached the goal. You know that the grind never stops.
Right.
One person that another person I always am bringing up is my boy Mr. Beast, man. I mean, he's got the most subscribers on YouTube out of anybody, and he's still focused on growing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, that's like to me the ultimate example. Dude has been giving away his money since day one, and he doesn't stop doing it. Like he's never changed the strategy, even though everyone else would have. Everyone else would have been like, oh, well, now we have all of these people behind us, so let's do something that's a little bit safer. He never played it safe.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the business model. It's like that is the way that we should be, and that's how you lead by example. Like we should be getting to this point where we are where we wanted to be, and then just keep doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, another thing I saw, when Mr. Beast was on Lex Friedman's podcast. And he was talking about hiring people, and he always asks people when they're going to work for him, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because say he's hiring an editor, and they'll say to him, I see myself making movies for Steven Spielberg. And he immediately doesn't want to hire that person because they aren't thinking of themselves as a video editor. They're thinking of themselves as, I'm a video editor until I get noticed, and then I'll do something better than this. Like, I'm a YouTuber until I can do something better than YouTube. And it made me have this revelation, like, I'm not trying to get in. I'm already doing the thing. I want to be a rapper. I am a rapper. Like, the content I make now is the content I'm going to be making for the next 10 years. Like, I'm never, ever going to break from this. It's not like some record label is going to contact me one day. I'm going to pick up the phone and be like, oh, yeah, I want to get signed, and that'll be me making it. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But, like, it made me realize how stupidly I was looking at the whole thing. And I think a lot of us are like that, where, like, we're 10 years old, and we're like, you know what? I just want to get signed to a label, and then that way I've made it. I'll tell my mama I made it. And it's like, that's not, especially nowadays when everybody knows how the labels just scam you and this and that. Like, there's no making it in music. It doesn't exist. You're just, so many of these artists that I follow on social media now, like, it's like a whole new business model. They've gotten viral off TikTok and like random songs. And now they're just promoting their music on TikTok, no label. And that's how they're making money. It's a real viable thing nowadays. But
I mean, when it comes to the labels and stuff, you know, there's a lot of people in labels that are broke.
Yeah.
You know? There's a lot of people with the million subscribers that are broke because they didn't figure the system out, you know.
You gotta do that homework.
Yeah. What's the point of climbing up to the mountain just to fall back down?
Yeah, and you got to remember there's snakes at the top of that mountain too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Waiting for you.
Yeah, they know you're coming.
Yeah.
I think social media is a crazy animal when it comes to all that, because I mean, people want to get a bunch of followers. What's so strange to me is there's this culture now where it's like, kids want followers, and they don't even know what they want them for. They don't even know. Like, there'll be...
It's just a number, man.
Yeah.
It's just a big number.
A big number. A bunch of people are going to see what I post. And what are you going to post? I don't know.
Right.
They don't know. It's so strange to me because, like, I've always had a goal. I've always been like, okay, I'm making music. I want people to hear my music. But now there's, like, a bunch of 10-year-olds who just repost memes that they find, and that's what they do. And that's Like, there's no goal for it.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's a really weird environment we live in when it comes to all that. I think everything's becoming like so numbers oriented. It's why you see a lot of record labels like I've heard a lot about this, and maybe you'll know more than me. I don't fully understand what's happening here, but I know that it's becoming increasingly popular for labels to buy streams. This is a big thing now.
Yeah.
And those aren't real numbers. So, like, if I were as an artist, I wouldn't want my streams to be bought, but the whole idea is that the market's captured. Like, if I'm some random Joe and I'm just scrolling and I see, oh, Ruse has 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, I'll check him out. Like, that's what you need the label for. Like, that's really, it's really weird. I don't like that. I don't know. Maybe that is just the future. Maybe that's the way things are moving. I don't know, kids. I think that we got to fight this system, and it starts with you. It starts with you. So every single little kid that's watching this, delete your Spotify, message Mark Zuckerberg, tell him F you. I'm not buying into this.
For real.
Right? Yeah, we're going all the way to the top. I'm going straight to boy Marky Mark. I'm going straight to him.
My boy MZ.
Yeah. Yeah.
You saw him on Facebook doing some wrestling and stuff? Did you see that?
Yeah. Are you talking about that the metaverse fighting thing?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was the most, dude.
I'm like,
oh
what?
My God.
When
Okay,
this nigga
so
learn how to...
for those that haven't seen this, it's Mark Zuckerberg and like some actual boxer, and they're having a metaverse fight. But what's so weird about it is that they're fighting in real life. Like, they have the goggles on and they have the controllers, whatever the hell they are, and they're just play fighting, but they're not actually hitting each other.
Yeah.
But in the metaverse version, which they keep cutting to in the video, which is just like, it's like, imagine Mark Zuckerberg as a me from the Wii games, and then imagine the other guy as that. And that's how they're fighting. It's so weird. Dude, if anything, like, is a prime example of, like, how fucking silly this whole thing is, like, all you gotta see is that. Show that to somebody from, like, 30 years ago, they'll be like, what the hell is this? I'm going outside. What is this? What are you trying to show me?
Finna go get some sun.
Yeah. Like, this isn't the future. Like, and it's so weird, because the metaverse fighting, I thought what that was like, I'm at my house and you're at your house and we're both putting on the headsets and we can have a fighting match. But like what this was them just doing it in person next to each other. Super duper weird, dude. It's really weird because like that is like saying, it's like saying, hey, we're chilling right here right now and this is cool, but let's throw on our VR goggles and have a better time.
Have a better...
Yeah. It's really odd.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, I worry that
they're trying to push this metaverse thing, though.
they're trying to push it. And the thing is, we're seeing a primitive version. Like, I bet you in 10 or 20 years, when it's actually cool, then it'll be a little bit scary. Because it'll be like, yo, yeah, we could be doing this podcast right here, but why don't we do it in fucking Los Santos with Trevor Phillips right next to us? Like, dude, that would be a lot cooler.
It would.
It wouldn't it? And then we just pop on our headsets. We would type in like, hey, I want to, or I should probably just fucking say it to the headset. I'd be like, hey, put us in Los Santos. All of a sudden, we're in Los Santos. Like, I have to imagine with the way the AI and all this shit's going, like, it will be that easy. It'll be as easy as that. Yeah.
Wow.
It scares
My kids
me.
are going to be annoying.
I know. I know.
My kids are going to be annoying.
Not that they aren't, aren't already, but it'll be worse. It'll be worse. Trust me, they'll find a way to like genetically modify these kids with headsets. That's all they got to do. That's all we need. I mean, and you know what else is weird is I think we're like already getting genetically modified kids because I was listening to a podcast the other day and dude was talking about like his kid can't read, but his kid will go through these apps and like buy shit, and his kid can't read words, but his kid knows what all the buttons do.
Oh, wow.
So it's like we're getting kids that don't even make sense right now. They don't even make any sense with the things that they can do.
Illiterate. but they're competent.
Yeah, that's scary because they're gonna evolve. We're gonna have some like superhuman kids pretty soon. They'll be trained by an iPhone. Like they'll know shit that we won't even get close to knowing. Dude, I'm scared for our future. I really am. I feel like a boomer when I talk about it. I do.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm right. I think. How old are you?
21.
21. So we're close enough.
I'm
age.
gonna be 22.
Okay, I'm 24. Finna be 25. So I feel like we're close enough in age to where we've both kind of witnessed this transition into more and more of like a digital realm to the point where like, dude, if it keeps going this direction, like 20 years, we will be inside of the phones. Like, we're just going to get inside of there.
Just going to step into it.
Yeah, that's the metaverse. That's what it is. It's just us, but in there. We're actually inside of the universe created by.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to be too pessimistic because like you said, I think that the internet is also a beautiful thing. I think that there's a lot of good things that the internet and that technology does. And
definitely.
Yeah, we can't discount that. Even like AI now, people are very scared about AI, but it's very powerful. There's some crazy stuff you could pull off.
My thing is, man, if you're on social media, you're on the internet, and you find yourself oftenly just getting unhappy, getting discouraged, getting jealous, then maybe you need to put it down for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You need to reevaluate yourself.
Yes.
That's my thing. But if you don't feel like that when you're scrolling down on, TikTok or whatever, like, by all means, use it.
Yeah, I think that's moderation for sure. Moderation. Because people, they get sucked into these unreal, they're not real. These... Whatever it is that you see on Instagram and whatever ideas you develop from all this stuff, it's not real.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook, it's not real. Twitter, definitely not real. I mean, so not real. So far from reality, it's actually kind of baffling.
Yeah, Twitter, dude.
Twitter, I don't understand how people use Twitter more than other platforms. I get on Twitter and I go, what the hell, man? People are mean. And then I just get off Twitter. People are so mean on there. Maybe I'm just a fucking fruitcake, but I can't handle it. It kills my spirit a little bit.
People are wild. People say whatever they want to on Twitter. Twitter is just a different like dynamic of a social media because like it's so has something to do about it with everything being so instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like you tweet and it's instantly out.
Yeah, everything else.
You can see the likes going up. It's like live. It's like a live app.
Uh-huh.
You can let's say something happened, in Detroit. You just type Detroit in the search bar and you just seeing everything pop up like it's just all live. And I don't know, people like just feel so I feel like people subconsciously feel so much freedom of speech on Twitter more than any other apps just because of how the atmosphere it is on the app.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's a good I don't know exactly what it is that makes that more exaggerated on Twitter, but it definitely is where people just think a thought and then type it and then it's there. It's like Facebook and Instagram, Instagram especially, there's a little bit more of a barrier between your post and then what you're posting. Facebook, not so much, but like Twitter, it's like
you can post whatever.
Yeah, it just boom, boom, boom. And with the whole Elon thing, now you can really post whatever.
Yeah, because you're not going to get reported.
No.
You're not going to get reported on Twitter. People are posting porn on Twitter.
I was about to say, you could literally, right now, with your dick out, take a picture, post it on Twitter. And it's not going to get deleted.
Nothing's going to happen to you.
Well, something might happen, but nothing, no repercussions. Like, you might just have some, depends on how your dick looks, I guess. Like, that's where the repercussions are going to come from. Might want to shave first. But I mean, like, yeah, it's a lot more of it's a lot more of an open book on there for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's kind of the gift and the curse of Twitter. Because like I recognize that a lot of people like Twitter for that, and especially people who are news people or journalists, they thrive on Twitter because that's where a lot of open discussion can be had, or breaking news, and then boom, it's right there on Twitter 2 minutes after it broke. I just think like I don't know if the cons and the pros are even on that. I really don't, because I mean, it's very easy to fuck up. And that's why you see a lot of this shit where nowadays, like, you know, oh, this guy tweeted this and now he's fired from his job. Like, that's wild. That's wild. If you are a guy that works at fucking Coca-Cola and you make a tweet about midgets, you can't work there anymore. That's crazy.
Oh my God, we finna get canceled. He said midgets.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Oompa Loompa. My bad.
Oh my God.
It just blows my mind. I mean, like, folks, just to let you know, this is a comedy podcast. All right, that's how I like to always add a disclaimer. This is a comedy podcast. Anything you say or hear here was comedy. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't take me seriously. That's your fault. But yeah, man, it blows my mind. I just don't know. It's almost like it's a reflection of the culture, and the culture itself is like, it's like if you had a really sick person, like, if they're already so sick, do we even need to give this person medication? Like, we might as well just watch the fireworks. Might as well just let it play out.
That's what Twitter is.
Yeah. Like, do we need to fix this, or should we just leave it?
Yeah. If we see somebody's going through right now, let's just comment something more depressing. That's pretty much.
That is Twitter,
just
though.
kick them while he's down real quick.
It really is. People are mean, dude. They're so mean. My mama taught me better. She did. I mean, man, y'all need Jesus. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, it's. I think like it's just a weird atmosphere to exist in, and I think everybody's on a soapbox too. That's the other weird part of it. Is like, everybody knows better than everybody else, so there's almost not even a point in trying to explain anything to anyone, or trying to, like, there's not even a reason to do it. Like, when you have a conversation with somebody, or when you're on YouTube, you can explain things. YouTube, you can have great YouTube comments. Dude, I've read some fucking profound shit in YouTube comments. But like Twitter, dude, I have never seen a civil disagreement on Twitter. I've never seen people be like, you know what, you got a good point. Yeah, you too. That doesn't happen on there.
Nah.
They don't like each other. Nobody likes each other. It scares me, but then I just remember, oh yeah, this is Twitter. It's like sitting in a dumpster and forgetting you're in a dumpster. This is all, dude. I'm gonna watch this back and write this shit down for my stand-up special, because this is good stuff.
It's like sitting in the dumpster and forgetting you're in the dumpster.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And that's why I get on Twitter for 30 seconds and close it every time. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I don't have time for this. I can't. And I want to, because I'm an artist. I'm a social media guy. I gotta be on there. But dude, fucking my tweets, and I just tweet basic ass shit. I tweet like, love is the only law. I tweet shit like that. 0 likes. 0 likes. You know what I should be tweeting? Fucking, I should say, what's a good tweet? A good tweet is like, you gotta be hateful and you gotta exaggerate. So it's like, Stewie Griffin is the absolute worst character on television of all time. And then I have to come up
comments
with like,
already.
Yeah. And if anybody wants me to elaborate, I'll say he's racist. That's what I'll say. You can't beat that. You can't.
Peter Griffin is racist.
Peter Griffin is racist. That's a good tweet right there.
That's fire.
I'm gonna test that one out tonight. We'll see how we do. Peter Griffin is racist.
I mean,
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Nah, Twitter is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Twitter, you can make it without Twitter. I promise.
I know. That's why I don't even want to learn. Like, I think I'm just using it wrong, but I don't even want to figure it out. I think I'll just wait till I get an audience, then I'll start using it, and hopefully they'll just flock to me there. But I'm not even gonna try to learn the ropes. Like, Gary Vee got started on Twitter. Blows my fucking mind. And he says, like, he used to sit on Twitter for like 8 hours a day just replying to people. What? No. You did what? I can't even sit on there for 20 minutes, man. I can't do it physically. It hurts my soul.
It hurts.
So, like, I lose hope for humanity if I spend too much time on that app. I'm like, yep,
Oh
it's
my
over.
God.
The rapture's coming.
Let's see what's the first thing that pops up on my Twitter.
Okay. I always see like fucking, the other thing I always see is like way too overtly sexual shit. Like, dude, I see that and I'm like, I didn't need to see that right now. I'm sitting next to my niece. Like, what the hell?
Okay, the first tweet that I see is Blueface. He said, I got 2 kids and 1 baby mama for a reason. I don't just have kids with anybody. I'm real particular about the women I have children with. I don't play about my kids and their well-being, nurture, and care. Rock, which is that girl. You know anything about Blueface and that? Yeah, so Rock don't even take care of me like a woman should, and I'm a grown man. Imagine a newborn. So let's see the comments.
Oh, we got some drama off rip.
The comments going crazy.
We barely even tried. That's the first thing you saw?
Yeah, that's the first thing. Somebody said, so why you having unprotected sex with someone you don't want kids by? Almost 3,000 likes on that tweet.
Goddamn. See,
My God.
this is the future. This is definitely the future. This couldn't have happened in 2008. That wouldn't have happened. This is thanks to you, fucking Marky Mark. This is thanks to you, Mark. Thanks a lot.
That's Twitter in a nutshell.
That is Twitter. And like, okay. I mean, I just wish Elon bought TikTok. That's all I'm saying. I like TikTok. TikTok's fun. TikTok's where the kids are, okay? For the record, TikTok's fun. Now, yeah, China might be spying on me. China might be watching me sleep. But hey, I prefer TikTok, okay? That's just what it is. I really do wish Elon bought TikTok because TikTok is like, as a musician, I actually think that's a really, really nice atmosphere. Like, yeah, sure, my attention span might be like a fucking goldfish when I'm on there, but I see so many other artists. That's where I got, like we start the very beginning of this podcast with them talking about those open verse challenges.
Yeah.
That's where those came from, was TikTok. I mean, it was from artists genuinely having a community where they can collaborate with one another. You can't do that on Facebook or Instagram. You can't even really do it on YouTube because YouTube doesn't support that type of collaboration. Whereas TikTok's just naturally built for it. So
Yeah.
it makes me sad to see all these conversations around TikTok being bad for you or TikTok being, the government wants to ban TikTok, this and that. Because it's like, if TikTok goes away, we're stuck with fucking Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and that's it.
TikTok really, the algorithm in TikTok is very rich. It really pushes you. It really pushes your content. Like, it's easy to get a lot of views on TikTok.
And I think that the niche aspect of it is what really is nice. Like, the right people will see it if you're consistent and you post the right shit. Like, if I consistently post hip-hop oriented content and that's what I do, then the people who normally see hip-hop content are the people who are going to see my videos. And so it's like way different than, Facebook, where Facebook and Instagram, where the only way they're going to see it is if I promote. Yeah. It's the only way. So it's the reach, but it's also the reach to the right people. It makes a big difference. Yeah. Because, dude, like, I don't want anybody seeing my stuff. I want, like, the people who are actually going to like it. I don't want to waste my views on those people. They're going to comment and tell me I'm the generic white rapper. And they're not even, I'll be like, yeah, you're right, but this wasn't made for you.
Man, so speaking of the music.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. If we dial it back a little bit, me meeting Token was like the push I needed to get back inspired.
Interesting. So that's kind of part of the whole story.
Yeah. Like, that's like the main transition, because I rapped to him, So what had happened was Case bought me tickets to see Token in Detroit. And he was actually at the shelter, like where they recorded 8 Mile at. Ooh. That's where he performed. Yeah. So she bought me tickets to go see Token, but not only did she buy me tickets to like go see him perform, she bought me tickets to have a meet and greet with him.
Oh, I'd be nervous
to rap to him. Like I was, I was incredibly nervous when she gave me the information. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna rap to?
That's
Token?
what I'm saying. As soon as you tell me I'm gonna rap in front of it, like butterflies.
At first I was like, she recorded this too. It's somewhere where she got my reaction. But I was like, why would you do this? You know?
Right.
So, man, why? What is wrong with you? Like, you're trying to ruin my life. You know what I mean? For real. But
like,
nah.
I know you're trying to do something nice, but you know you're killing me here, right?
I gotta rap to Token. Like that, you could have said like Gucci Mane or something. Somebody easy, Waka Flocka Flame. That's my level. But Token, that's crazy. She could say anybody. She could
So,
said,
how did you prepare for this? How
Okay.
does that happen?
So I was trying to write music like Token.
Token style,
I was
like
trying
looking
to
up
make,
Token type beat.
Yeah, I was trying to write stuff like that. But when I got the beat, it was the Drake 0 to 100 beat.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my God. How am I going to rap like that on the beat like this? Because if you think about it, that beat's not very like something you can rap super fast. Well, if you do rap fast, it's going to be super fast. And I'm not rapping that fast. That's just not me. I would look really corny if I did that in front of him. So I was just like, okay, let me just be me. So I had like a week, maybe less than, to prepare when they finally sent us the beat. So we get there, we get to Detroit. It was funny. I'll paint this picture for you, bro. We get to Detroit, and then we're waiting outside of the shelter, and there's this like guard here, and I'm seeing these other guys who got the same tickets as me. They're walking up to the door, and then they're trying to get in. He's like, no, there's not. He's not ready yet. He's doing the sound check. We're supposed to be in his sound check. That's a part of our tickets too. So the other guy, he got a little upset. He was just like, we're supposed to be a part of the sound check. And the guy was like, well, there's a sound check before the sound check. And I'm looking at that case like, there's a sound check before the sound check. What are you talking about? There's a sound check before the sound check. What's the part of having the sound check if we're going to have a pre-sound check and then have the main sound check that we can be? Well, I digress. So I was like, okay, so we find something else to do for a little minute, and then we come back. So we come back in. You know, I'm in the, we waiting outside in the line. It was cold. I felt like that lyric in Stan, where it's like, we waited in the blistering cold for 4 hours and you just said no. That's how I felt. So I'm in there. I'm
Is
talking.
Token even coming? Fucking shaking.
Like, man, it's Detroit. Come on, Toke. End up making a friend out there. He's a really, really good guy. I can't shout him out because I don't want to get his name wrong, but I got him on Instagram. But yeah, so.
You know who you were.
Yeah. If you're watching this, you know, we was rocking that whole concert. But so we go inside and all that, and Token comes out. Mind you, this is my first time to a concert, you know? So Token comes out, and we're watching him rap and all that. And he's like, do it sound good? You can tell that he already like had did his sound check and our sounds. But he's doing it again because this is with our tickets, which is cool. So after...
Some weird-ass shit, though. Sound check before a sound check.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was making jokes about that all night. And we're going to have a sound check. But first, we're going to have a sound check. And then we're going to have a sound check. Like, what?
It just sounds like bullshit. Like, it sounds like the guy was just trying to get you off his ass. So he just said whatever he thought he could say.
That's hilarious.
So, okay. So here we are.
He comes out. He's rapping. He's doing his sound check and all that. He's asking us, like, sound good? Like, we're like, yeah, it sounds great.
This is the fake sound check where you guys just nod and go, yeah.
In my mind, I'm looking at Case like, bro, this is really Token right here. I've never met, this is my first concert I've ever been to.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen celebrities perform live for real. The only celebrity I've seen gospel artists, you know, perform live and stuff. But the only celebrity I've seen that's like in the world and stuff like that is Kevin Hart.
Really?
I went to a Kevin Hart stand up. So that was nice. But like now I'm in person. Like he's like from here to like just past the wall. You know what I mean? Like a little further. But like, yeah, he's close. He's very close. The stage is like right there. You know what I'm saying? If I walk 10 steps, I'll be right at it. So it's crazy. So he's done with that. He comes down and he's like, they're just like, okay, y'all, we're gonna who's doing the cipher? We raised our hand. It was like a cipher. So now I'm getting even more nervous because I see the hands raised. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm judging people by how they look right now. I'm looking at people like, okay, let me see how you dress. And it was this one guy, man. It was this one guy. He was like, he was black. He had locks. He was just real chill. Like, he was just chill the whole time. When we was outside and I was talking to, my friend that I made, he was like, you rapping? I was like, yeah, I'm rapping. He's like, you got your stuff memorized? I'm like, we gonna find out. I'm like, you got yours? He's like, yeah, I do. I think, no, I don't. I'm probably gonna have to use my phone. We just talking all that. So there's this guy in front of him. He's kind of like side-eyeing us. He got an AirPod in. You can tell he jamming. He's so nonchalant. Probably the most chillest person I've ever seen. Like, he's not high, but as if he is high. He just chilling. He keeps like side-eyeing, hearing our conversation. And I noticed that I got his attention, so I kind of asked him. I'm like, hey, you rapping too? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you got your stuff memorized? This is exactly what he said. He was like, I wrote some stuff down, but I don't know. I might freestyle too, mix it up together, see what come out. I'm like, why does this nigga sound so cool? Like, I'm like, you just gonna see what come out in front of Token? Like, bro, you know how much I prepared for this? Oh my God.
Probably like piss you off in that moment. Like, what
bro,
the fuck?
On the inside, I was like, all right, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna listen to it. Yeah. I think he went first. And I'm not gonna lie, his rap style was exactly like his personality. Like, he would rap, and the way he would move his hand gestures and like paint the picture, like, he did good. I can't remember anything he said, but I just remember how he made me feel. I was watching him like, oh yeah, this guy, he can rap. He can rap. I don't know if it's his dream. I don't know if it's his passion, but, evidently he loved it if he spent the money on these tickets to rap to Token. He can definitely rap. But he just seems so, like, not promoting himself, not, like, the biggest marketer and all that, which is something we really got to get together. But moving on, more people are going. And so far, I'm like, okay, nobody really had. This is just, I'm sorry if any of them are watching this. But this is exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, none of them are saying nothing that's too crazy. Nobody has said anything that's like out of my league. So I'm like, it's not like, what I wrote, I'm nervous to rap what I wrote because I saw this person rap this and now I feel pressure on me to do something better. I didn't feel that way. So I'm getting closer. And I was pretty much the second to last person. I'm looking at Case, and Case was like, go. So I'm like, all right. So I walk up to Token. We were standing beside him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, this sounds like torture to me.
Bro, on the inside, like, if you see the video, I'm literally like,
right.
All right.
And you just force yourself to walk up to him and do it, right? Because that's all you can do when you have that type of anxiety. It's like, okay, I guess we're doing it now.
Like, you just got to do it.
Yep.
You got to do it. Even if you are nervous, don't make it known, because then you're going to make the audience nervous for you, and it's just uncomfortable for everybody. Now they're just waiting for you to mess up because now you made it known that you're nervous or frightened and all that. So my tip for anybody like that is just do not admit it.
Yes.
Just do it.
Fake it till you make it.
You're going to make the audience uncomfortable, and they're not going to watch you for how good you are. They're going to watch you for how good you last. You know what I mean? So
great point. Great way to put that.
Yeah. So when I was there, the beat turned on, and like, you want me to rap it?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna try based on what I remember. The beat.
I'm sure you rehearsed like 100 times before you went up there.
I was like, all right, Flint Town is Ree. Finna see what I gotta do. I was like, you don't gotta be a killer nigga, just be you. saying things you don't do like you really do. But if you push me to the limit, I could really shoot. You might pull a Bryson Tiller and go missing too. When I lose, I've been getting blue like I'm crippled. Ooh, no, actually, I'm barely making it. Who gonna be real and say they relate to it? Niggas want the way I say I'm paving it. Niggas want the way I say I'm paving it. I'm the real like a Slim Shady hit. Sisters had the baby, he my favorite. Making funny faces, got the baby lit, but I don't babysit. Baby sit down when I'm talking to you. I ain't playing chick. When I ball, I either lay it up or I take assists. I ain't mean to hog it. Whole team up 86. Keep a mean barber. He gon' flick a wrist and give me Chris. I ain't seen your daughter, even though I'm who she laying with. Plastic bag over the face. Keep a mag around the waist. I don't have no time to waste. You getting lapped inside the race. When the rap is out of space, intergalactic with the flow. Went from rats inside our place to having rats around our home. Neighbors ratting on the nigga, rather tat no leave me alone. Try to wrap it up, but when I wrap it up, it's just too long. Heard I rap too much. I be packing bars into these songs. Hard headed, mama had me seeing scars in the sun. And I was like, after I rapped that, I was watching the facial expressions when I hit that plastic bag over the face, keep a mag around the waist. Token was like, like, and I ain't gonna lie, that almost made me just like choke up. I'm like, what? And I was watching like his openers, one of his openers who was a really, really good rapper. His name was Ben Riley, I believe. He was in the crowd. He was watching me, and the whole time he was like smiling, you know. And I talked to him after the concert too. And so this is the part that drove me, you know. Yes, that was a great experience rapping to him, but what he told me, he was like, "What's your name?" I had my hoodie on, so it said MysterWre on my hoodie. He was like, "MysterWre, I'm gonna remember that. Like that was good. That was really nice. Like you really smooth with it." So fast forward to after the show, at the meet and greet, I walked up to him, you know, shook his hand and all that, and he was like, "Bro," this is the part that really locked with me. He was like, "Bro, the music, like the rapping, like keep doing it. Don't stop doing that stuff. Like you're really just like smooth with it." And I don't just say that about anybody. So like keep going. And I was just like, "Thank you, Token." I was like, "Thank you, Token, you know. Hey bro, I won't stop until we on stage together or something, you know." And the same thing when I went up to Ben Riley later on, like I went up to him and he was just like, "Oh yeah, bro, and that rap you did at the Cypher, no, that was crazy. That was fire, bro. You need to stick with that. Keep that going." I'm like, man, it made me feel so good because like, bro, I knew I was good, but I'm such a humble person, bro. So it's not until like somebody like that tells me that I'm good, it gave me like validation that no, I actually am good at music. And it was like, I can't just stop. You know, one of my favorite rappers, Token, just told me like, just gave me this great compliment. I was like, I can't stop. I got to keep going because if he thinks I'm dope, then my favorite rapper, Hobson, will probably think I'm dope too. And then it's just a spider web effect. You know, people that I know linked up with Hop, like maybe Tech Nine would think I'm dope if he heard the fire verse from me, you know, one of my hardest verses, you know, stuff like that. Like it just gave me validation like, yeah, bro, you really got it. And if you figure it out, you already got the talent. You just need to work on the business part of things, the marketing part of things, the consistency with being in front of a camera part of things, the music video, like making money for photo shoots and posting consistently sticking with the algorithm. That's when it comes into figuring the system out and making it and getting further ahead. Because you can have the talent, but that's only like 30%. A lot of people have the talent. 70% is going to be really using social media as that tool and going up because, you know, it's not like, you know, Token's going to do it for me. You know what I mean? He didn't say like, "You're super dope. I want you to open up for me. And, you know, I'm going to follow you on Instagram." And, you know, he didn't say all that. He could have, but he didn't. And I didn't take no offense to that. You know, I'm not going to be the guy that's, you know, walking up to him, chasing after him like, "Yeah, man, you know, hey, and I just made a demo last week called this, and that, and I'm going to send it to you." Like, I messaged you like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to take what he said, and he's going to see me again after I use what he said. I build on it. I make something to myself like he had to. And then we're going to have another conversation one day where I remind him what he told me. And that's how it should work. Because if you get your blessings before you're not ready to receive it, you're going to fail. You haven't went through the struggle. You haven't heard enough no's to know how to handle a yes. You know, if you already made it and you never struggled to get there, how are you going to deal with it when you make it and you're struggling while you're there? So I just took that as a big lesson and the reason I say that is because there was this other guy who I saw who made a rap, who rapped to him in the cypher. He was the guy that went after me, which he did very good, by the way. He did very good. It's not like he was trash or anything like that. He did good. He probably did. If not me, he was the best there, I would say. But you could see him like talking to the DJ, talking to Toke. Like after the meet and greet, that stuff was over because he's trying to look out for himself. He's trying to get some money. He's trying to, get on the wave because he was an older guy and stuff. So,
but it can come off as like if you overdo that, it's like what you're saying. You come off as a little less transparent and a little more like, what's this guy's real intention? Like, why is he really talking to me?
Yeah.
Like, does he even care that I'm like? Does he like me? Does he like my music, or does he just know I have this many followers and he just wants to?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that.
Is he like who I am, or does he just like what I have?
Yeah.
There's women like that. There's men like that too.
Yes. It's all about status, and it's like, to you it was much, much, much more than that. I mean, it's crazy to me too, just to think that like, Token's just a guy. I mean, it's interesting how much influence we can have on one another in that way. Like, because Token, he's been in your position before, I'm sure, where he was that guy maybe he was that guy to Hobson at one point, or it's like, oh shit, I just rapped in front of Hobson and now Hobson's letting me tour with him. And then that's kind of how that whole thing began was when they started
Hobson's
touring together.
Opener.
Yes, exactly. So I just think, and by the way, fun fact, Hobson was actually my first concert that I went to in Detroit. Yes. And I will never forget when...
Was it at the shelter?
I can't remember. But I remember I was standing there and Hobson comes out and he's just walking through the lobby for some reason. And I made eye contact with those contacts for like a split second. I wouldn't forget it because it was the white contacts looking right at my eyes. I was like, oh! He looked at me. He saw my face. So, but I mean, like,
that's dope, man.
It was dope.
It's just dope to like, you just know these people exist.
Yeah.
You're not looking at them through a screen. Like, call me a fangirl, call me whatever you want. But like, I was lit when I saw a Token, man.
I bet you were like,
it was
man,
like
I
he
can't
was
believe
Lil
Kevin
Wayne.
Hart's actually that short.
No, it was crazy. Like, he already got the jokes out the way with it. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, it's like B-Rabbit with 8 Mile. Like, he's already roasted himself, so you can't even roast him.
The funny thing that was with the Kevin Hart situation, the Kevin Hart stand-up, it was at the Little Caesars Arena, and his openers, I don't know if you know who the Plastic Cup Boys are, but that's just like his boys who open up for him and all that. His long lifetime friends that are comedians as well. And long story short, there was a fight that broke out in one of the upper levels of the Little Caesars Arena, and you could see it and all that. And the last opener before Kevin Hart came out, he was like, no, man, what y'all doing up there? Y'all know these tickets are expensive and all this and that, and like, get them out here. I'm gonna watch y'all. He was making jokes about it. It was pretty impressive. He was making jokes about it, keeping us calm, keeping us laughing. While that was going down, eventually security came and got him out. So boom, fast forward, Kevin Hart come out. Kevin Hart comes out with a big baseball bat. And then he's like, hey, of course we're all screaming, Kevin Hart, right? He comes out, hey, how y'all doing? Getting the mic stand low for him, for his height and all that. How y'all doing? It's good to see y'all look good. I heard there was a fight that broke out. I got this bat. Cause any of y'all want to try it. I'm small, but this bat is tall. You know what I'm saying? All right. No takers. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's how he started his set?
That's how he started it up. It was hilarious.
That is great. So not only did he include the shortness in the bit, but he was also doing crowd work.
Yeah.
Wild.
Talented, man.
Yeah,
Talented.
and comedians, they have to be able to do that too with the crowd work because you never know what's going to happen at any
hecklers
show.
And the thing that happened with Dave Chappelle, you saw that?
Oh, yeah. Dave Chappelle, and that was following the whole thing that happened with Chris Rock. But I mean, not much Chris Rock could do there. But even he handled that like a god. When you really look at that clip, I mean, wow. If you got slapped while you're on stage at that type of function, it would be very hard not to act a fool. So, I mean, but I feel like that's what it is. It's like that comedian heckler training kicking in. Like, can't fuck this moment up.
Yeah.
Can't allow this, even though, like, it's very interesting. It's a very good improvisational skill. But back to the whole thing with artists. It's just really interesting that people can have such an influence on us like that, to me. I mean, and it makes me think about how I might influence people in ways that I don't understand. And same goes for you in that moment. I mean, like, who knows what thoughts you may have made run through Token's mind. I mean, maybe he saw some of himself in you, and that's why he felt compelled to say that to you. It's like we have this effect on each other that it's immeasurable. And I think that it's so fundamental to human interaction in general. Like, there is not a thought that exists without some thought to bounce off of it. So we need each other. We need those moments. We need to be reminded sometimes of what our value can be and that power that God gives us. I mean, in that moment, you're reminded, like, this is what I sent you here to do. Yeah. Because, I mean, I have to imagine the other people that were there. Sorry if you guys are watching this, but I can't imagine that Token said that to each and every one of them. And if he did, let us know in the comments, okay? But so you got to imagine he said that to you for a reason. And it's a really powerful thing, you know? The other thing that makes me think that is, like, even the little moments where it's like, as you're rapping and Token reacts to your rap, to you, that's a key moment. To him, he was probably just feeling the shit. Like, he was just feeling it. But to you, it meant so much more than that.
I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah.
You know? I'm never going to forget that. That's a mark in my career, you know?
Yeah.
That's definitely a mark.
And let's make it just one little insignificant mark on a long career, right? Let's just make that a little notch on the belt.
Yeah.
Let's not make that the biggest thing, because we got so much more that we got to come, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and with that being said, what can people look forward to with any mystery music? Do we have anything in the works? It sounded like you had a little bit cooking up. Sounded like it. Earlier, you were saying that your newer stuff sounds a little different. I think that's what you were saying.
So, going forward with me, I have a lot of unreleased music, because I never stopped making music, right? Like, I found the time to write it, you know. So as I've been back, I've just recorded a lot of my written music. So I have a plethora of unreleased music, a lot of things I've been stacking on. I got, I got 2 albums that I had written, not finished or anything like that, but it's there. And I got another one I'm working on. So, what you can expect from me soon is just more of my singles, you know, hopefully another music video. You know who OK Tyler 4K is?
Yes.
I was speaking with him, and it seemed like he was going to come back into the scene. I was telling him how much I missed him, because he the one that shot my Velo music video, and I loved it. And, so hopefully, you know, him and I get to work together, because I don't know what happened to him. He kind of he was on the go, and then he just ghosted again. So, you know, praying for Tyler, whatever he's going through. But man, that's my favorite videographer.
I hope the feds don't got you, Tyler. I hope that's not what happened.
But yeah, what you can expect from me, man, is just expect a different sound from me. I've been getting closer with God, and I've been rapping less of things that aren't who I really am. I've been trying to stay true to my real life, true to myself. I've been trying to keep my penmanship authentic. So you might hear, a couple fun music drops on these releases that are most soon, but I'm just kind of weeding them out and getting closer to like this new direction, this new wave of mystery. It's going to be more poetic, more lyrical, more personal, instead of just I got hoes, cars, money, you know, that kind of stuff. That's not really who I am. I want to start making music about who I really am, and that's not me. And you won't find peace in where you don't belong.
No, you won't.
So my conviction is going to change my sound inevitably, and I'm just going to be the artist that I feel like God really wanted me to be.
And what is the ideal version of that in your eyes? Like, what do you see your music being about when you're making the music that represents you?
I see it being about troubles that I faced that I feel people could relate to. I've made a lot of music about things I don't relate to. I made music about a lot of things I want to relate to. I rapped about having a lot of money because I want a lot of money. I rapped about having nice cars because I wanted nice cars. And I wasn't trying to rap fake or anything like that. I was just trying to rap about things. I was trying to rap about things that I see myself having in the future. I was trying to speak it in existence because the tongue is powerful. But now I'm going to do a little less of that because I don't think everybody receives it like that. And I just want to rap about things I really go through. I want to rap about, things like my parents' marriage, and how it had its ups and downs and my perspective of it. So somebody who can relate to it, that deal with, parents affecting them by their marriage. I want to rap about, the relationship I have with my brother. My brother, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he's not in the greatest shape. And, when I put it into music, other people are going to, know people like that. It might not be their brother, but it might be their cousin or their friend or somebody they went to school with that they see is not in great shape. And it's going to mean something to them. I want to rap about, my sister just had a baby, and, I'm an uncle now, and I'm watching my mom be a grandma for the first time. And she's holding this baby and showing the love. I'm the youngest child, so I'm seeing my mom hold this baby and showing him the love and, nurturing him and feeding them and just showing so much love to them. And I'm seeing me in that baby. I'm like, this is how my mom took care of me. This is how my mom raised me. This is how my mom held me. That baby is me right now. And I just want to make a song about it because now I'm looking at my mom from a different perspective. Like, the relationship I have with my mom now is not the same as it was when I was like this little baby, when I was everything to her, which I'm still everything to my mom, but like, it's just on a different dynamic. Like, a baby has to be protected. The baby has to be shielded, guided, fed, things like that. I'm watching how my mom did all those things to me by now me having a nephew. So I just want to start. That's a good, examples of what my mind is on now. My mind is on things like real things that I live, I see, I have a perspective of, and I want to put it in my music. And hopefully through my authenticity, I'll gain a more organic audience. More people who can actually relate to what I'm talking about, because y'all here with me, Y'all not rich like I'm not rich. Y'all not exactly where you want to be in life, like I'm not exactly where I want to be in life. But together, we are going to figure this thing out and support each other and realize that there's beauty in the struggle. There's beauty in the grind. I watched DC Young Fly say you got to stay persistent. Consistency is doing what you're doing, but persistence is doing what you're doing when you're going through something. So just stay persistent, stay consistent, and we all going to figure this out together. And I just want to really paint that canvas through my words. You know.
Yeah, I can't remember where I heard it, but I was here listening to somebody recently say that at a certain point in life, they realize their calling is the purpose in their life is to take the shortcomings that they've had and the struggles they've dealt with and just to give that information to other people. Like, simply that is enough of a purpose. And it's like, I think we externalize our purpose in all sorts of ways. Like, oh, if I get a bunch of money, if I get cars, if I'm successful. And then you always hear these stories of people who are successful that are struggling mentally and they haven't reached whatever point they want to reach yet either.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the only way we can really fulfill ourselves is to offer our experience as advice and offer what we know as advice to one another. And I think people recognize the reality in that too. I think that's what really makes that type of thing connect.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's secretly looking for something where someone means what they're saying, and they're looking for somebody who's going through shit like they are. And when somebody's just honest with you and forthcoming about it, there's something that's validating about that. It reminds you that we're all people, and it's not like there's some giant curtain where these guys are behind it and we aren't.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a really, really valuable thing to learn to do, especially as an artist. I mean, it's kind of why I struggle just connecting with a lot of this bullshit street music type of thing. There's a time and a place for it, and I think that it serves its purpose and it's fun. It's great club music.
Yeah.
But I can't, my spirit, I feel like, just craves something deeper than that. And I think that the people who truly create are the people who are searching within themselves for something that's, and that stuff you described, that's stuff that only you could offer, as in, no one else has experienced. Maybe they've experienced their versions of that, but they haven't experienced your experience.
Yeah.
And whatever you bring to the table might completely change how someone else looks at their situation. And it would only happen if you were honest about that. I mean, the thing about your mom is really interesting. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, where it's like, growing up, we can't really put into perspective because all we know is our parents. So all we know is what they offer us. And then you get older and you realize, oh, like, you didn't grow up like that. Oh, you didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
And you see your mom with another kid and that, you were that age once, and you're like, oh shit, that's what my mom did with me. And it not only does it show you who your mom truly is, it shows you who you really are, because you got that from that you came from that type of nurture and that type of environment that your parents provide. It's really a wild thing,
right,
to look back and think like, damn, I really am the way I am because she's who she is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to moms in the world, by the way. I know there's some bad moms out there, but I gotta say, you moms, I think, are one of the only things holding this whole place together. We got a lot of crazies, all right? We need more moms. That's what I think. I vote that we get more moms. If I were president, more moms.
We need more moms.
Yeah, that's going to be my platform. That's what I'm going to run on. More moms, 2024. But I mean, like, yeah, man. I think it's really, really, it's really hard to do that, though, if you're not somebody who looks at things in a deep way. And I think that's kind of what the beauty is of you being able to make that type of art, is you're kind of able to take those people who can't normally look at things in such a deep way and kind of force them to. I mean, you allow them to look through your eyes. Because I think there's so much to this world, man. There's so much to creating, and there's so much more perspective than our perspective. It's why it's just so nice to just sit back and listen sometimes, just to go people watching, because you never know what someone else is going to say. And I think we learn so much from one another. I think it's
Yeah.
really true. And you can't teach someone unless you offer the information. So, yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's really important to me to just, I mean, I feel like that's why I preach so much. It's just because I want to see a world where people just, they think a little more, man. They put a little more idea into why they are the way they are and why everyone else is the way they are. I mean, like, you know, there's a reason that somebody is this way and they don't have your story. They have their story. And
Yeah.
it's really humbling to think about that, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It puts us in our own places.
Right.
So, I mean, when I write music, my whole thing is I just want to create a conversation within people. I want people to have some sort of self-reflection, whether it be positive or negative. They have some sort of conversation, and that could even just be a simple conversation of like, oh, like I think that's what great rap does, even when it's just talking shit. It's like, that's why Eminem is such a prolific rapper, is because his early shit, he'd say 10 punchlines in a row.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not thinking about the words that he said. You're thinking about what he meant by the words that he said. And so it's the magic in the middle. It's what you can put in there and what you can allow those people to take from it. So I mean, yeah, that's what I like to do. That's where I like to put my little my sauce.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think it's a mixture of I think what you're doing is interesting because it's similar to what I'm doing, but it's more targeted. Like you're really offering your experience. I try to be so loosey-goosey that like no one's even gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, that's how I try to write shit. Where it's like I don't even want you to maybe know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a value to being so forthcoming. I need to get better at that, honestly. I'm not very good at being literal in my raps. It's hard for me. I'm like, oh, I'm being too straight up. I got to be more mysterious. I got to have more mystery in this.
Man, I don't know which one it was, but you had posted one recently of you rapping, and I was just like, man, this is good.
Thank you.
This is really, really
Do you remember
good.
how it went? Because I'm interested to see which one it was.
Maybe it was the that's in the that's in the I feel it fade. Something like that. The tennis raid, the willow blades, something like that.
Feel it fade.
It was pretty recent, I think.
Oh, I should know this. Feel it fade. Oh, I should know this.
There's something in the fade. The way.
Gosh darn it! I should know this. I really should. All right. I'm gonna boggle my brain for just a second. No, folks, I'm not stalling. I'm just talking to you. We're just talking. We're just talking. Oh man, I don't. Oh, okay. Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about. So what I've been doing. This is, by the way, great promo. I'm gonna put you on game here. So with TikTok and with social media in general nowadays, what I used to do when I went on vacations and shit like this is I would go out there and I would film a music video myself, which is whatever. It's just a bitch because I have to do 12 takes for the verse, 12 takes for the hook, 12 takes for the second verse, like whatever. Enough for a music video, especially because I'm filming it myself, so I have to have enough to work with in the edit. And that was just such a time-consuming thing because not only are we talking about the filming and all this, we're also talking about now I have to take everything and edit it, which is another 10 hours. I don't want to spend 15 hours on a music video. I'd rather be working on music.
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather be working on a podcast than sitting in front of the computer and painstakingly editing a video. It's just not where my heart is.
Mine either.
But what we're talking about now, what made you bring up that song, that's a great way to do it. Because what we do is we film the song, we record our song, we have our song, we put our song out, and then which we can film a music video, but the music video is separate. We just film 12 mini music videos for one section of the song.
Exactly.
And that's how we promote the song.
Yeah.
Dude, Oh my God. For one, it's just so much better as an editing thing. It's like now I'm not worried about the amount of time I have to put into all this afterwards because it's not that. It's just a simple edit. Like I set my camera up over there, I rap for 30 seconds, and then I do that 10 times in 10 different locations. Now I have 10 different promos for one song. Way more people are going to see those than the amount of people that were going to see the fucking music video to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. And the little section of that song is stuck up in it, my village, a stall, still for days. We hear the sirens, I let it absolve, feel it fade. I feel the violence that squaggers the walls, filled with rage. And then invited, come to a crawl as I fill a page. You should try it, do. If you're undecided, join the crew. What troubles you? Because it's unprovided, we divided like a W. V to V revive and watch them vilify and kill to hide the greenery indicted. So... you find a small section.
Crazy. That was crazy.
Thank you.
The W divided V to V.
And I love that too, because that's just some great imagery. Like that, you know, it's like saying, you know, come together, folks. V to V reviving. You feel me? You feel me?
Crazy.
And I just
that was crazy.
And again, that I like that you bring that up because I'm doing exactly that. I'm doing exactly the thing I was describing where you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. Like, when you really like look at the words and you're like, okay, so what is he actually saying? It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I was saying because that's the magic of it. That's the magic of it. And I think psychedelics and experiences like those, even religious experiences, they trigger that same thing in me where it's like, I love that explorative function of art. I love that idea that, you know, I'm not giving it all to you in excess. I want you to be a part of the process. And I think that's like the beauty of the spiritual experience is like you don't fully understand it, but it is still magical and it still has value. It's just like it's up to you to pull from that whatever you want to pull from it because it could mean so many different things. Same thing like religious experiences, you know, like God spoke to me and God said this. Like who's to say that he didn't because it's such a personal thing. And I think we all have these types of personal experiences. And I just love to capture that type of thing. That's what I think that my music is all about. And that's what I think the art is all about. I'm just trying to grab my little pocket of it. And not to go on, not to can't even speak. I can't. It's past Ruse's bedtime, folks. All right. This is a late podcast.
It's getting pretty late. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all right. It's just usually I try to do these things at like 8 a.m. And Ruse is like he's getting older, guys. Like, let me tell you, I've started to like going to bed at 10:30 lately. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I hate to break it to you guys, but like, there's just something nice about getting up at like 7:30 in the morning as the sun rises. It just feels so good, and knowing you got 9 hours of sleep. Ooh, ain't nothing comparing to that. Ain't nothing. I'm just being real. And all the kids watching this, they don't fucking understand what I'm saying at all. I know. I was one of you guys. I used to stay up till fucking 6 a.m. in the morning and then get up at 1 p.m. Like, no, I could not do it now. I'm an old man now.
As a kid, bro, I used to go to bed like 4 in the morning and get up like 7 in the morning.
Me too.
Like for school. Like,
I know.
You know, like
and it wasn't shit.
Yeah. I'll be good the entire let me do that now and go to work.
Yeah, bro.
I'm getting fired.
You don't want to talk to that guy.
That's my last day.
Yeah. I would just call in. I would just call in now. Like if I fucking got 3 hours of sleep, I'm calling in. I'm not going. You don't want
probably
me.
Was best.
Yeah. I understand. I'm helping you guys out. Like you telling me to come in, I don't think you get what's going on here. It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's placebo because I've learned a lot more recently about like how important sleep actually is. I've learned a lot about like, you know, how Ruse is trying to cut down on the marijuana even, guys. I got to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you because got me is I saw somebody say, shout out Matt Walker. He's a neuroscientist, I believe, but he focuses on sleep. And he was saying that marijuana negatively affects your sleep. And I was like, the frustrating part about it is I had never heard somebody properly explain the phenomena of that, because I went through a breakup once where it was a terrible breakup. I dated the girl for about 4 years and we broke up. I was heartbroken. And in that same time, I decided, you know what? I'm going to stop smoking weed for a little bit. I'm going to take this as a sign, like we're going to make a change here. And I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia. And I thought it was because I was heartbroken. And then a year and a half later, I decided to take another break from THC. And lo and behold, I get insomnia again. And so what happens is the THC suppresses REM sleep. And it also is a sleep aid in the sense that it lulls you to sleep. Like it makes you fall asleep, but you don't sleep as deeply. So if you just cut the THC out cold turkey, maybe for the first few days you'll get good sleep. But if you're like me and you were smoking daily, it's like, dude, I've never had insomnia before, and it was torture. Like you're just laying there and you know you're tired, but you just can't sleep. You no choice. There's nothing you can do. You just gotta lay there, and maybe you can get up and do something else. But like, no, you're not gonna fall asleep for a long time.
Wow.
And the other thing that occurs that is fucking wild is you have the most vivid dreams of your life. Now,
really?
Dude, I had dreams. This is the second time I quit. I don't know if this happened the first time I quit. I had dreams that felt more real than real life. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Like, I woke up like, holy shit. Like, it almost felt like a religious experience. Like how, I can't even describe it, dude. They were the craziest dreams and they felt so fucking enlightening. And so it was like, okay, if this is what happens when I don't smoke weed, then obviously like this is very valuable. And then now I'm so conscious of it. Now when I smoke, anytime I smoke, I'm like, all right, well, there goes my fucking sleep tonight. And it's real, man. It's real. Now that you know, I don't know how often you smoke, but I would like for you to try to pay attention to this because it is fucking real, man.
I don't smoke.
Good for you.
But I've definitely seen like other people try to quit, and it makes sense now. It's a pretty common trait. How you just explained it to me makes it make more sense. But I've noticed people when they don't have any weed or anything like that, they can't sleep. I have definitely noticed that. So I know what you're saying is pretty true.
But it's not common knowledge. It was just what fucking blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I experienced this, and I had no frame of reference at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. It was only the second time that it happened that I made the connection. Like, oh, it's the weed.
Yeah,
but
you didn't even think it was. You didn't even.
Yeah.
You just thought it's because of what you were going through.
My heartbreak, my breakup. But no, dude, fucking, I mean, I could have probably slept just fine if I would have smoked some Kush. But I mean, like, you know, everything has its pros and cons. I mean, what's interesting about it to me is that it's very similar to alcohol in that sense. I mean, alcohol, you don't sleep very well either. The other thing that gets me is motherfuckers will seriously try and tell you that weed has no downsides. Weed is a totally... Everything is good about weed. Weed's the best thing that's ever existed in humankind. And it's like, bro, like, you're saying that because weed makes you feel like that. Like, yeah, when I smoke weed, I think this is fucking... this feels great. But until you get that contrast, you can't... Because most of the people who smoke weed every day that say that have not went a month without smoking weed in the last 10 years of their life. Like, most of the time. It's hard, dude. I'm happy for you that you don't smoke because it is a vicious cycle, bruh. It's hard to quit smoking THC, and I don't want to hear none of y'all tell me different, okay? It's hard.
Man, I mean...
You start fiending.
Why do you want to quit completely?
I don't want to quit completely.
Oh,
I just want to
okay.
do it in moderation.
Okay.
I think everything's better in moderation.
I feel like, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. for anybody who does, any drug. I'm not supporting or not supporting any drug or whatever.
I support the power of choice.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like, just don't let anything take control of you. Like, if you're feeling like you need it, you can't go on your day without it, that's a problem to me. And that's kind of why I never really got, like, started smoking weed or, started drinking and implemented it as, like, a thing I do on occasion, even on occasion in my life, because, like, I've had my experiences with that stuff, but it didn't last. It didn't stick with me because I'm just too scared of feeling like that, feeling like, man, I feel like smoking today. I feel like, man, he just cutting the line. Bro, I'm finna go home and roll up. Like, I never wanted to, I never wanted any substance to have that kind of impact on me. And I just feel like if it has that impact on you, I always just kind of looked at that as an issue. Like, don't you want to be in full control of your mind, of your body? But I'm not trying to offend nobody or anything.
No,
like
you got
that.
a good point, man.
But that's just why I don't smoke. That's just me, and I just, hope that, people who do smoke weed or, or whatever you do, just don't be in denial of the situation. Just be aware if you have some sort of substance that, like, has a lot of control over the way you think, control over how you act in public, or your motivation to do things in life. Be
Yeah, you
aware
don't
of
want to
that.
rely on shit too.
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to feel like you need it in order to be your best.
If we go back to music, it's a lot of rappers who cannot go to a studio session without getting high first. It's like, bro, that's sad to me.
That is sad.
That's sad. Like, you should be able to write music whenever, high, sober, drunk.
Yeah.
Like, you should always be able to do your art. So it's just crazy. Like, I know people who got to get high before they work out. Like, that's kind of a problem to me. You have to do something in order to do something.
And it also, like, puts guardrails around the working out or around the recording music. Like, oh yeah, I'd love to record music, but I don't got any weed right now. Or,
yeah, so I'm not gonna do it today.
Exactly.
I do it okay, next Monday.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah.
I mean, like, I like to think of it too. I mean, like, it's almost like I heard someone religious say this, and I think with the way they were saying it was a little bit preachy, but, like, the whole idea, the sentiment behind it was a good sentiment. They were saying, like, when you smoke weed, like, weed becomes its own God, and you lose touch with God. Like,
yeah, you make a god out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, of course, they were talking in straight Christian terms, but you can expand that to a spiritual belief. Like, we have this anchor, we have this God that's guiding us in some direction, and then we go and we do a substance, and it's like we get distracted from that. We lose sight of that. I mean, one thing that I think weed does more than a lot of things is it promotes complacency. And you can just see this all over the place. I think if you're a guy who wants to smoke weed all the time, like, you got to look at the people who do it right. Like, look at Snoop Dogg and Joe Rogan, okay? Like, those guys, they smoke weed all the time, but they're also working all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
they made it a part of their image.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they didn't let it impede upon the shit they were already doing. They just smoke along the way.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be some guy who smokes weed every day, but you also want to get shit done, get the shit done before you smoke the weed, or fool your brain into allowing yourself. Because, dude, I'm not that guy. I mean, I struggle with it. I will be like, I'll be getting shit done. I'll be having a productive ass day, and then I'll smoke some weed. I'll be like, shit, man, I don't want to go outside. I don't want anyone to see me right now. I just want to watch some fucking Breaking Bad and eat some chips and salsa. There's no reason for me to do anything else. And it makes me complacent. It makes me lose sight of the power that God gave me, Because if I'm not in that state, I'll be like, shit, dude, like time's a waste. I gotta fucking get to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 10 years and I'm gonna have regrets. So I gotta get this shit done. Whereas like I smoke a little weed, I'm like, fuck all that. Fuck was I talking about?
Oh man.
So it's like, but I think it's all about a balance. Like I say, it's all about moderation. Like my whole thing now is I'm thinking 2 days a week, 2 days a week. That's a fair amount. That way, for one, I'm saving money. I mean, let's be real.
A lot of people, yeah.
And the other thing is, I'm not allowing it to become such a key, because I really relate to what the point you just made about not wanting to have something be like your anchor, something that's holding you down, where you want to be in control. I struggle with that, and I see it in myself. It's like, oh, this thing kind of takes over, and then I allow it to take control, and then I feel aimless, when really it's like, if I just take control of that situation myself, give myself guidelines 2 days a week, then all of a sudden I feel fucking 10 times more productive, because I don't feel like I'm a slave to my own fucking wants, It's hard. It's really good for you. That's why I say I'm happy for you, because it sounds like you've got a good handle on it. It sounds like you figured that shit out pretty early, and then you just didn't fuck with that shit.
Well, I had a good conversation with one of my closest friends, and I was telling him that I was thinking about, like, I want to smoke, I want to drink. This is before I had like any experience. Like, I want to be more. I want to party more. Like I was feeling like this, I was feeling like I want to fit in more. And this is another friend who's never tried anything, or if he did, it was like a one-time experience kind of thing. And he was just like, he just talked me out of it, bro. He was just like, why? Like, why do you need to do that to fit in? Like, I don't need to do that to fit in. Like, because he's a very funny guy and all that. So, like, he's a pleasure to be around and all that. And he just said the words, like, I'm lit without it. And I don't know why, but when he said that, it just made me think, like, my sole purpose of smoking weed and drinking alcohol was to fit in, be more of a vibe at a party, not be the oddball in events where everybody is getting high and getting drunk and all that, hotel party, stuff like that. Like, I just want to, like, have this part of my life to, fit in and all that. But when he said, like, why you need that, all that, like, you still a joy to be around, like, I'm lit without it. It just made me think, like, you know what? You're right. At least my reason for wanting to start doing it was invalid after that, because I consider myself to be, an entertaining person in public events and, humorous and all that. And it just made me think, like, why start it? I'm lit without it.
Yeah.
I perform well without it. I'm funny without it. I write good music, without it. I can't have a good time at a party without it. So when I started thinking like that, I never went full throttle with, like, trying it or going to places where they're doing this and that and just create these memories that I probably regret later in life. So,
and it sucks to regret those types of memories, because, like, half of them you barely remember. So you regret it, but you don't even remember making the decision to do it.
Yeah.
I did what? I said what to you? That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was evilry. It's my arch nemesis.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, yeah, that's a very pure story, my friend. Very pure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, I think a lot of people have that same experience, and they're not even honest enough with themselves to admit it. Like, a lot of people do stuff like that, do substances or just use drugs in general as a method of fitting in and as a method of, You know, like I don't want to be the odd one out. Like, in my opinion, if you're doing a drug, if you're choosing to use a substance, it should be based upon like, do you want to have that experience or do you not want to have that experience? Like, is that what you personally want to have happen? Do you want to be in that state of mind? It should not be in the realm of thought, should not even have anything to do with anybody else. Like, you shouldn't be thinking, how am I going to look to fucking that guy or that guy? They don't care. They're high. Like, they don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the other thing is, people build up this concept in their head they're going to be lame if they say no. No, dude, the guy who acts like you're lame because you said you weren't going to smoke is the guy who's lame. Like, if I get past a joint and I say, nah, I'm good, most of the time, they just hit the joint again. They don't give a fuck that I'm not going to hit the joint. They don't care.
More for them.
More for them, yeah. Honestly, that's what I usually think when someone says no. I'm like, shit, okay, I thought we were going to share this joint. It's all for me? Damn, I rolled a fat one too. So it's like, you know, I think that people just like, they think too much about what other people are going to think of them, I think. Just in general in life. I think everybody's so fucking worried. And the real truth of the matter is, most people don't give a fuck about what you're doing at any given moment. They just don't care. They're so wrapped up in their own shit. They've got all their own lives to worry about. They don't care if you decided to do this or not. They're going to forget what you said tomorrow. They don't care. They got other shit. So, I mean, yeah, your friend had great advice because that really is the truth of it. It's like, do you need it? And if the answer is no, then the answer is no. If you don't need it, you don't need it. And if you don't want it, then absolutely don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if the truth in your heart is that you don't even actually desire it, it's like, why even fucking take the risk of trying to fucking fit in? Cause
just to be cool.
Yeah.
That was my purpose. I just wanted to be cool.
And I think like you dodged a bullet in the sense that that's where the habits start. That's where you really develop a habit of it. And, you know, if you can just say no, as they say, if you really can just say no, then it almost, I feel like another really important thing, and I think I see this a lot in a lot of straight edge people, is that you get these, you get people who are very determined and very, they're strong in their beliefs. Like, if you can just say no to something like that, it's a lot easier to say no to other bullshit too. Like, you're just not gonna take shit anymore. Like, you recognize how temporary a lot of shit is, and how you can, it's also very easy to spot addictive behavior when you keep yourself away from it. Like when you're the guy who doesn't smoke weed or drink alcohol and you're at the party with everybody who's drunk and everybody who's high, you're like, damn, bro, like these guys do not act like this at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's way easier to spot it when you're that guy. And it puts a lot more into perspective, you know? It allows you to take shit more seriously, I feel like. And that's valuable. That's a real skill. I think people nowadays are just fucking just whipping their dick out and taking pictures for Twitter. They don't give a fuck anymore. It's a crazy world we live in, man.
That was a curveball.
I'm telling you, I've really thought about doing stand-up. I think I could pull it off. Problem is, like, I'd have to develop a set, and I just don't know if I can be Kevin Hart. I just don't think I can be.
Just gotta be Ruse, bro.
Gotta be Ruse, that's right.
Gotta be Ruse.
I'm not Kevin Hart, I'm Ruse.
I think you should try it.
I think so.
I thought about doing it too.
It'd be fun.
I don't know.
I think you could do it. You got the confidence for it.
Yeah, I wrote some. I took mental notes of some things I'll probably put in a bit. Like, I thought it'd be funny if I talked about, like, I had an idea. I had a joke. It's not designed, but I had like a joke idea about two homeless people.
I like the beginning.
Like,
I like where we're going.
Fighting over the same intersection. Because I witnessed. You ever seen like two homeless people in the same intersection though? Like one's here and one's like over there facing the other way, and they both got signs up. And I'm like, I wonder if they ever get annoyed with each other.
Yeah,
wonder
especially if
ever
one's
get
more successful than the other.
Yeah, I wonder if like they ever get into arguments. And I just thought that was a funny concept.
I wonder if one of them has to be there like at a certain time, or else the other one's gonna take his spot. You know what I'm saying?
It's
There's
a
got to
lot
be some
of-
crazy ass dynamics to that
Man.
situation. That's a great bit. You
People
could build
gonna-
on that for sure.
Somebody finna steal it.
Hey, yeah,
somebody
now
finna
that you've said
steal
it
it.
in public, right? We have like
But,
10 hack comics that are like writing the shit down right now. And like,
I
fuck,
thought it was
that's
a
gold.
funny concept. I be thinking of stuff like that all day. Like if it's not going in a song, it's going in a stand up.
Dude, I think it's probably just like rap, where it's like, you know, we could just put it on hold forever, but it is just as simple as getting on a stage and just doing it, right?
Just do it, man. People are
Comedy's
there to
so
laugh.
weird, though. It's just, I feel so weird if I was on a stage just simply trying to get people to laugh. That's so much different than what I'm used to. I'm used to going up there and just rapping and being my weird ass self for 20 minutes and letting you get what you want from that. But like as a comedian, you have to play an audience. It's a lot more of an intimate relationship with the
is.
crowd, I think.
I feel like what I've noticed, because I watch a lot of stand up comedy.
Me too.
If you notice, most comedians, the good ones, you know, the established ones, they have a message, an overall message or overall thing they're actually saying to you. It's not a bunch of random jokes, you know, trying to, you know, see if this one hit, that one hit, that one hit. Like actually have a message, and like through that, you know, you can have jokes in it, make it funny. But the overall point, what are you saying to them? How do they leave better from which they came? You know what I mean? I noticed that a lot with Dave Chappelle, with Kevin Hart, with
Louis C.K. It's a good one.
Louis C.K., Bill Burr. I learned a lot from Bill Burr, you know. So just, yeah, I think that's the art in comedy, in stand-up comedy, is that you have an overall theme and you had a message at the end, and it all ties together. We had a good time. We made some jokes, but like most of the jokes and all that change your perspective and have a new way of thinking.
Yeah, and I think
It's
that,
underlining, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the best comedians are really able to poke at the absurdity of a lot of the way that we look at things. Like that, just the act of poking at the absurdity is what makes you reflect.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think a lot of people realize that that's actually what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're really intelligent people. That's the other thing, is like you have to be fucking next level in order to do that, because not only are you able to like tightrope walk this fucking difficult topic, but you're also able to get people to reflect in a way that they would not do in any other format.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like fucking, you gotta, with Dave Chappelle in particular, he is a fucking god at that. When it comes to like
he's my favorite comedian.
Yeah, he's just a monster, dude. Like he's not even comparable to probably the next 10 people in line when it comes to like his ability to go on stage and talk about a controversial topic in a way that everybody's going to be like, yeah, he's right. Like everybody's just going to be like, yeah, he's got a point though. I mean, even if you disagree with most of what he said, you're still like, well, I do see exactly what he's saying.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think that that's like the true genius of it is like, I think that's what humor exists to do fundamentally. It's just humor is the ability to laugh at ourselves. Humor is the ability to, that's why it's so silly to this new concept. That's why none of these PC comedians, these woke comedians are ever really going to be able to do much, because comedy is making fun of things. You can't have inclusive comedy. It doesn't exist. Like we're making fun of the inclusiveness is the idea that I'm going to make fun of you and you and you and you. I'm not going to exclude these people because these people are off limits. Like, no, that means you should make fun of them. And that's why, like, you often hear that comedians, I think the whole concept is comedians are the canaries in the coal mine, meaning that comedians, when they go out, that's how you know it's going to be bad. Like, if they say we can't have the comedians, that's how you know shit's really going south, because the comedians are the ones that are really going to poke at like the most absurd things in our society, and
in
we
an
need
atmosphere
that.
where it's like okay.
Yeah, if we don't
it's a
have
joke.
that, that's fucking scary, dude.
Yeah.
Comedians are the ones that are that allow us to like, oh yeah, that is bullshit that this guy did. I mean, like George Carlin? I don't want to get his fucking name wrong. George Carlin, he is one of the OGs when it comes to comedy that pokes at a spiritual truth, but also is just good comedy. Same with Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is fantastic at approaching social, political topics, but yet doing it in a way where it's like, it's Bill Hicks. If you haven't heard of Bill Hicks, I highly recommend it. He's a lot of comedians' favorite comedian. I mean,
Really?
yeah, he's crazy good.
I'm gonna check him out. I watch a lot of comedy. I'm gonna check him out.
Bill Hicks is one of those guys you hear about a lot from the greats, and it's just that he's able to. He kind of flipped it on its head, where it's like he just talked about shit that nobody else was willing to talk about at that point in time, and he made it a comedy routine where it's like. And nowadays, it's way more popular to talk about fucking, I don't know, the government, and the government does this, and we live in a society where the president can fucking, the president's an idiot, and this and that. Like everybody kind of just agrees how absurd the whole system is now. Whereas back then, it was like you only had these news sources that would just tell you, hey, everything's fine, while there's like fucking poison in the water or whatever's going on. And everybody just kind of didn't talk about shit. And then Bill Hicks goes out there and has a whole comedy routine where he's just basically protesting through comedy.
Yeah.
And it's just genius, because not only are people laughing because he's funny, but they're also hearing so much truth in what he says. I don't know, did you listen to Tool growing up at all? Have you listened to Tool, the band Tool? Oh, they have a song where they sample a Bill Hicks bit, and the bit is all about like, how people wanted to get rid of, they wanted to make drugs illegal, and drugs are bad, and this and that. He's talking about the war on drugs. And then he says, like, those people, what they need to do is go to all their favorite records and just throw them out, because every single person that made that music in the 70s was high as fuck. Like, they were all so high.
Yeah.
So it's like he's able to find the humor in such serious topics. And I think that, like, that's just it's something we need. And it's something that I think comedy is seriously so valuable. I really do.
I agree.
I really, really do. I love comedy so much. I could tell you my favorite comedians. Theo Von, he's up there.
Okay.
Who else we got? Theo Von, Mark Normand, 100%. Mark Normand is fantastic.
Okay.
Russell Brand's not exactly a comedian these days, but I do like what he's been doing. He's very funny. He's still very funny, but he's been doing a lot different types of content. Norm Macdonald, crazy good.
I don't know none of these.
Wow, dude.
I don't think I know. I'll probably have to see their faces.
Yeah, I think so. I think you might know some of them. But if not, I highly recommend you check them out after the podcast, because I'm telling you, these guys are good. These guys are good. Ruse does not recommend some bullshit. Ruse likes the good stuff. Okay. And let's see if there's one more. I want to have at least 5 people on my list. Let's say Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis is great too. He's a newer guy. I will say too, though, this is somebody I know you know because you brought him up. Bill Burr. Bill Burr's great.
Yeah,
I think I like some of his earlier stuff a little more than the newer stuff he's done, but I don't know. I didn't check out his new thing on Netflix, Paper Tiger. I haven't seen that yet. So
I can't remember. He has so many Netflix specials. I don't remember the names. I be getting them mixed up. Because I ain't watch them in order and all that. You know what I mean? I just kind of watch them.
Oh, you're a madman.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, usually they're talking about, like, topics around that time. So you're like, man, why the fuck is he talking about Colin Kaepernick? Oh, this is 2015. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll check the year out, but yeah. Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedians, if you had to list them? You got a list for me?
Oh, man. Okay, my top 5. Ooh, I don't know. I think, okay, number 1, Now I know I said Dave Chappelle is my favorite, but he's not necessarily.
Did I leave him out? I just feel
Dave.
sorry. Fucking course, Dave Chappelle.
My first one would be Bernie Mac.
Ooh, throwback.
I think Bernie Mac is like the funniest comedian ever. Man, it's just how he engaged the crowd in seconds. That was amazing to me. I would go with Bernie Mac at number 1. Number 2.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
they don't have to be in order.
Okay, yeah. After Bernie Mac, there's no order.
Okay, but Bernie Mac's number 1 for you.
Yeah. We'll go with Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. It's just what they've done, you know? Just what they've done. Like, they've really... honestly, this might surprise people, but in my top 5, I gotta put... I don't know if he's gonna be in my top 5. Maybe it's an honorable mention, but honorable mention, we'll go with what's his name? Oh my gosh, what's his name? Shoot, he had that show. He had a show. He's a white comedian. He's like in his 60s now. He's one of the richest comedians.
It's not Louis C.K., is it?
No, it's not Louis C.K.
He had a show.
It's Jerry Seinfeld. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh.
Jerry Seinfeld is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like, even his show. I don't know if you saw his stand-up comedy recently that he had dropped like maybe a year or 2 ago.
Oh, no, he's still doing stand-up like that? Like specials?
Yeah, he did a special. Oh. And he was like, let's be honest. I could be anywhere in the world right now. I don't have to be on stage checking out another one of these. He's
right, too.
Yeah, it was so true. It was hilarious. So we'll have an honorable mention for Jerry Seinfeld. So I said Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. There's a comedian. His name is he might be second funniest to me. Lavelle Crawford.
Oh, I've heard a lot of him, but I'm not. I probably heard one of his bits before. Mm-hmm. I just don't know.
It's just how he talks, bro.
That's it? You think it's a lot of it's like his rhythm?
Ooh. Yeah, it's like just how he just cadentially set up. It's just how he talks. He talks like that. He just talks funny. Like, I think he is funny, but how he talks make it so much more funny.
I would recommend Theo Von for the same reason. That's why he's so naturally funny. Like, he doesn't even have to try.
It's so natural. Yeah. Okay, I'll check him out because that's how Lavelle is. Lavelle probably the second funniest on my list because it's just so natural. And if I chose a fifth person, honestly, I think I'm gonna put Steve Harvey.
I have not seen any of his stand-up.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tell me that they don't think Steve Harvey is that funny, but I think Steve Harvey's pretty funny because he relates to, like, he just had many jokes of him trying to, like, be this super Christian. And I remember he's like, but I just can't stop cussing. I just can't let it stop. Every time I try, how do y'all live like this? I remember he's like, if you wake up at 4 a.m. and you get out of bed and you stub your toe, oh Lord, like you was just going in. Like, I think Steve Harvey is hilarious.
I can hear Steve Harvey saying that. I could tell you almost had the Steve Harvey cadence down right there.
Yeah, like, bro, he is hilarious to me. So yeah.
He's so funny. I grew up watching Family Feud, and he was totally the highlight of that. He was the main reason I was watching the show, dude. He's got such a great personality. I think that, like, Steve Harvey is one of those guys where, like, even though he said some, like, silly shit, it doesn't matter because he's Steve fucking Harvey, dude. He's so naturally charismatic. Yeah. He could say whatever he wants, and it's like, he could go Kanye on us, and it's like, okay, well, you're still Steve Harvey, though.
Yeah.
Can't take that away from you. Man. Okay. All right. You got any topics you wanted to hit on the podcast? I mean, we can wrap whenever. If you got anything that you wanted to make sure to talk about, now would be a good time to lay it on them. Because I don't know. I don't know if there's anything we really should hit.
Man, I just came here for a nice conversation with you, man. We talked about pretty much. I definitely want to talk about the token experience. Shout out to Faint Crew. You know, Faint Crew, we're doing our thing. Rocco, I know Rocco and Kobe was up here recently, right?
Yeah.
So that's nice. You know, now Ree's here. So we gotta get Tyrone in here, man. We gotta get
gotta get YJM for
YJM, yeah, and Trey Bands. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get them in here. It would be very nice to see that. And
maybe not all at once. I don't know if they'd all fit on the couch.
No, not all at once, but like, you know what I'm saying, give them they shine whenever the time is right, and or whenever y'all build a nice relationship with each other and things like that. I think Faint Crew is booked again sometime in May.
Woo! We talking Flint local, or we talking? All right.
Local. So that's exciting. So May, my birthday's coming up on the 19th. I'm getting married.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I proposed to Case September 1st. So our wedding is on August 25th.
Oh damn! So we ain't being engaged for 5 years. We're gonna make that wedding happen.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready. You know, I've known it for like almost 7 years.
Yeah. So in that sense, it's kind of been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's not like I've known it for, you know, a little while and was like, let's get married, you know? I've known it for like, you know, almost half my life, you know what I mean? Like a little over half my life. So I know I'm young getting married, but I love her, man. I love her. She's the one for me, for sure. So, yeah, so I'm getting married in August. Faint Crew booked in May. Stay tuned for my new music coming out. You know, you're gonna hear some stuff that comes out where I was still on what I was on in the past, but like with the music to come, I'm really gonna just make more authentic, pure sounding music that's coming from my heart, not just coming from my mind. And yeah, bro, I appreciate you having me on the podcast for number 2. And whenever you have me back, bro, just say the word.
All right.
Sure.
I feel like it'll be a little less than 2 years this time. I feel like we can make it a little bit shorter of a wait for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Yeah, I get a lot of love, man. I get a lot of people saying, why haven't you been dropping music and all that? I'm very, very blessed to have a nice support team and people really listen to my music. Sometimes I got to be reminded of that people really listen to my music and they really care for another song. And you got as an artist, you know, that's growing, or content creator or whatever you do, when you have an audience that's watching you, you got to take accountability and responsibility over your releases. You know, you got to drop and give people what they want. You know, how are you going to satisfy 1 million fans if you can't even satisfy the 10 that's waiting on you?
Wow.
So that's how you got to look at it. You know, you got to post as if you got millions of followers, even if you only have 10. Post for those 10 people. Those 10 people going to multiply. So, yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me, bro, for sure.
Appreciate you for being here. All right. I would go ahead and say some sweet things, but I really like the way you wrapped it all up right there. That was nice. So with that all being said, folks, thank you for being here. If you watched through this whole thing, you're awesome. We appreciate you. Whoop, whoop. You're a real one. You are the king of the coop for this podcast. The coop. What am I talking about? The coop troop. You are my chickens. You are my roosters. It is what it is. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for coming over, MysterWre. Always happy to have you on the podcast. What is the podcast? It is Ruse Radio. Clocking out.